с тобой. Партия и мира свет живой. Разум народа, гордость народа, знамя земли трудовой. Разум народа, гордость народа, знамя земли трудовой. Родина наша, слава столетий, клятвой великой клянемся тебе. Мир от войны отстоять на планете, партия нас окрыляет в борьбе. Партия, народ всегда с тобой. Партия, и мира свет живой. Разум народа, гордость народа, знамя земли трудовой. Разум народа, гордость народа, знамя земли трудовой. Пусть патриоты, пусть год от года дружба советских народов растет. Свято мы любим отчизну свободы, партия нас к коммунизму ведет. Партия, народ всегда с тобой. Партия, ты мира свет живой. Разум народа, гордость народа, знамя земли трудовой. Партия, народ всегда с тобой. Партия, ты мира свет живой. Разум народа, гордость народа, знамя земли трудовой.
Oh my God, we're live, Duncan. Isn't that exciting? What an exciting time to be us. We're live on the internet.
We are.
Better resize me window so I'm not.
There's no point in living if we can't feel live.
Yes. Well, welcome back, everybody. We hope you can hear us properly. I've seen all kinds of regulars in the room today, Duncan. The regulars are all over the place. Look at them regulars.
What?
So many regulars. So we hope you enjoyed the clap for the NHS. Just to be clear, we are watching the director's cut of Robocop, because that is the one that happens to be on Netflix. It's the only reason we've chosen that. It's my preferred version. How do you feel about the cuts of Robocop?
No, I agree. If rather like the sorry, I'm just letting my lighting out. Rather like the director's cut of Terminator 2, it just seems to have become the cut that everyone has. So there you go. Mad Cat Productions, $4.99 US.
There you go.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
First
very
one
much.
of the night. I actually, as you will see, I'm going to move that. Hold on, because it's floating over the text, which is annoying. So when you give a super chat, YouTube automatically takes 30% of it, and you're very welcome to continue to donate through super chat, of course, if that's the easiest way to do it, and we're very, very grateful of those. But we've added our PayPal tip jar in the bottom because it very annoyingly, they take 30% if you use the PayPal tip jar. It doesn't. It's up to you what you do. You have the option.
They don't take 30% if you use the PayPal tip jar. You said they do.
What? No, I said they don't.
You said they do.
No, I said I don't. We can't rewind it. How will we ever know? How will we ever know?
All right, don't worry about
Basically,
it.
if you tip through PayPal, we get to keep all of it. We'll get a notification on our phone and we'll give you the same shout out, just saying. So there's the awkward grubbiness out of the way. The awkward grubbiness out of the way. So, yeah, here we go. Robocop. It's going to be on Netflix, so it's a kind of 24 frame a second version, which I think, as I understand, with Blu-ray and stuff, shouldn't be an issue. It's just DVDs where it is. Could be wrong about that. But that is what we know.
Just to remind you all, the word of the day is feculence. That's feculence.
Duncan has been saying feculence quite a lot, and I've been laughing quite a lot because I just love the word feculence. 152 people in the room at the present count, which is smashing numbers. Gone full Hawaiian shirt on us, Jackson. Yes, I have. This is the shirt I wore when I met Lance Henriksen, and as I was explaining to Duncan, may have some of his residue on it. Who's to say he didn't feculent on me or anything that I know about. I don't think that's a verb. Did he feculent on me?
Henriksen's feculence.
No feculence. Richard McGreevy, £10. Hope you guys are doing well. Keep up the fantastic work, lads. Good to have you, Richard, in his cool Judge Dredd helmet. Richard also gives to Patreon. God love him. So
oh, bless you, mate. Thank you.
Hashtag feculence. I would just like to remind. Can I just really quickly, Duncan? We'll get it out of the way early doors this week. We know what's coming, Duncan. It's your favourite thing that's coming.
No.
It's your favourite thing that's coming.
Not
Can everyone
again.
just put hashtag flaccid member in the chat, please? And I want to see how many people say
Hashtag
it.
feculence.
Oh, okay, fine. Hashtag feculence, hashtag flaccid member. Choose one and we'll see which wins.
Yeah. Someone, not us, will count them all up at the end.
There is no prize. You must all go home.
So yes, Robot Cop. Robert the Cop.
Which actually, because it was between, we've already got a flaccid member in the room. It was between Commando. We open my ears. What was it? Commando, RoboCop, and Predator.
Yes.
And it was a very narrow win for RoboCop. Did you see the results at the end? It was like
I saw them this morning. Yeah, it was very close.
25, 23, 23. And people have... Here we go. All the flaccid members and feculence is kicking off. Oh, man, look at it. The chat is alive with flaccid members and feculence.
It's hilarious.
I just want all the non-subscribers to come in. Oh, man, people are really engaging. And this is top quality content. Stan Wilkes just gave £5 for two fantastic guys. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Stan. Stan Wilkes has asked to do an interview with me next week, which I'm going to do. That should be fun. He messaged me. Hey, it's Stan Wilkes, a young chap who has this amazing voice. I've heard he sent me like a link to a podcast or something he did. He's got like this broadcaster's voice. It's amazing.
Does he sound like this?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Stan Wilkes.
That's Lionel Hutz and
Is it the guy from the X Factor?
Yes.
Or what's the other one? Alan Dedicoat.
Alan Dedicoat, yeah. because it used to be Tommy Vance, didn't it, before he died? And then
He died.
He died. Some hail to Starscream as Dane's just to write #flaccid, just flaccid, sort of splitting the difference there.
Faculence has made its way into
feculent member, which is
very good.
That's the ultimate crossover. That's the attempt to split the difference, isn't it?
Portmanteau. Well, it's not even a portmanteau.
No, well, I suppose not, but I like it nonetheless. Dressed a bit like Max Payne in Max Payne 3 with that look, you goddamn better believe it. Max Payne 3, sort of haggard Max Payne 3 cosplay is my whole summer game, really. Sort
of derided game, that, but I quite like it.
Oh, I really, really like Max Payne 3. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that game. It's odd because it was developed by Rockstar, not Remedy, the developers of the first two games.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm a big fan. Richard Jackson is Kratos in Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Yes, that's very complimentary, Frank. Deeply complimentary. Fleculent, so many portmanteaus or hybridized versions.
Fleculent.
Fleculente. 173 people in the room. We're building them numbers. We were very excited by last week because that was very high for us. We're not expecting to get to that level again. I don't think. Kind of glad Robocop won. You guys already did a commentary on Commando, which is more like a watch party anyways, and you guys do a lot of content on Predator. Yeah, I kind of think this is a new format, so it's not exactly the same because we interact with the chat and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't expect searing insight from this channel anyway, but I definitely wouldn't expect it tonight. That's a
common misconception we do a lot on Predator. We did AVP and we did Predator 2 as in Broke, but we've never ever done a commentary together on Predator. Ever.
No, we never did. I don't think we did AVP as a thing, did we?
We did AVP for Fix It and Post Flashback.
Oh yes, of course.
Retired series.
Exclusively available on Patreon. Available to watch on Patreon. Not available on YouTube anymore.
We did. I think we did Predator 2, but we've never done. We didn't review the Predator together, and we've never discussed Predator.
I mean, it is like I do have feeling if that had won, I do get quite down in the mouth about how over discussed Predator is. Like, I think it's a great movie, but it's just particularly by blokes on the internet. If you want to find blokes on the internet talking about Predator, you are covered. No, I think we would make a fun time of it. And again, Duncan and I have never actually done a Predator commentary together. I did one once 7 years ago or something. Radio 704 says, would you do True Lies? We've done an It Ain't Broke episode on True Lies. I would happily do a watch party on True Lies. Great movie. Great movie.
Movie.
Here's Phil Bell asked a good question, which I think is a great one to make.
Oh, yeah, it's like Clock Splash, isn't it?
Oh, did you? Which has the better first sequel, Robocop or Predator? I like Robocop 2 more than Predator 2. I think you might give a different answer.
I would objectively say that I think Robocop 2 is a better film than Predator 2. But I like the sort of Predator 2 feels like it's set. Well, weirdly, I think Predator 2 feels like it's set in the Robocop world.
Yeah, because it's all the kind of vague futurism.
Yeah, and it's like 2000 AD kind of like that sort of cheap. Life is cheap. You know, I mean, the gang warfare stuff. I think it has that. So I like Predator 2 as a film, but I think it should have been called, like, it may as well have been like A Naughty Alien Goes to a City Somewhere, or whatever.
It's an excellent title you workshop there. Yeah. A naughty. Oh, stop it! Don't take his spine. He needs it for standing up. Oh.
So yeah, I mean, it may as well have been called Danny Glover's Too Old for This Shit too.
Yeah.
But I like it. I really like Predator 2. So I think as a sort of guilty pleasure thing, I'd choose Predator 2. But I do think Robocop 2. Robocop 2 is more of a sort of substantive film, I think.
Yeah. It's fun. I've talked about Predator 2 for half an hour on an excellent episode of It Ain't Broke. But I just sort of think it's about a bunch of people solving a mystery you already know the answer to, because the first movie has that procedural element where they do that. And so we know the outcome when you do it again, but it's in a city now. So at least because I know you and I disagree on Predators, but that has the same issue. However, it is a different question being answered. The Predators are involved, but there are more wrinkles to it, which I think makes it more interesting. there you go. There you go. There's a, it's controversial that.
Robocop 2 is much more meta. Like it does that whole. Like it literally uses focus groups and stuff, which is obviously something that the first film is kind of
and it's commenting on the nature of sequels and how you shouldn't go back to the well, right? That's a joke. Like they make a Robocop 2 and it's bigger and tougher and meaner, but it's stupid and doesn't work and was a waste of time. That's the, and it fails and it blows up in everyone's face and that everyone ends up looking stupid and whatever. So
that's weird. My agents just sent me an email with a casting breakdown on it, which doesn't make a lick of sense. Something about Francis of Assisi. He's like, find the attached below for tomorrow. It's like, huh? I probably
wait for
can't go.
Audition tomorrow?
Yeah.
People must be. Are people doing Skype auditions for actors?
We do self tapes, yeah. Which is I've done a couple with you, haven't I?
Yes, but I mean, like in Corona Land, is anyone like, is it?
Yeah, it's been going on, but the thing is, I suppose not knowing when lockdown's going to end, it's very hard to. I mean, it's all well and good doing one, but then when's it shooting?
Evan Weird. Brown has just tipped £10 on Patreon. Thank you very
Bless
much,
you.
Evan.
Thank you.
Write whatever you like in the chat, and we will treat it as a super chat for you, Evan.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to say, we have Angelo, who normally does our thumbnails and is general sort of like background Valverde guy, does a load of stuff with us, is moderating tonight along with my brother again. So we've got Niall and Angelo. Sam has the banhammer powers, but I think he's chilling tonight.
So you've got the jewel of the Nile and Angelo, who I owe an especially big thanks to this week because he very, very kindly helped me out with with some excellent tech advice and getting a new laptop because mine is, as you all know, kaput. So he helped me order a lovely new MacBook Air. Oh. So thank you very much, mate, and a big shout out. And thank you so much for helping us with the chat today. So I don't know why I have to go. Partridge. I think you always have to go.
There's always time for it, mate. There's always time.
I was sniggering to myself that the other day, my wife was like, "Why are you laughing?" And I just remember, I don't know what the context was of whatever we were talking about. We said something. Was it barrel? We said the word barrel. I was like, barrel.
And the little OK hand gesture thing. It's partridge barrel. the partridge roll of R's.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. So yeah, we got Niall and Angelo saying hello. Watch party of Duncan reading his Emmerdale script, please.
Where is my Emmerdale script? It's put away. My wife made me put it away. I still have some of them. My sides from Emmerdale.
We do have the odd Duncan Casey self tape that I've worked on before, and we usually throwing up some battery powered lights in my front room and doing a self tape. Which they're quite fun to do. It's like I get to do grown up scripts from real people from time to time. No one ever gets to see them, but I get to do them, so that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, no, and it's very much appreciated because anything to give you the kind of edge in this game is great. So to be to shoot it on a really good camera with lenses and everything, lighting. So
there you go. Oh my God. Shay Lonsdale, who has been following for a long time since pre-Valverde days, says his nana passed away on Easter Sunday, so we appreciate you guys putting these watch parties on to keep our spirits up. It's our pleasure, Shay. I hope this one is sufficiently silly and willy filled and bum filled and
bum filled.
Hashtag bum filled. We've already had flaccid members and feculents in the chat, so why not throw in some bums and some willies?
That's weird. It's for the same thing. Sorry, I will shut up about this and say it's for the same thing that we self-taped for last time, which was that.
Oh yeah, the historical
thing. There's a historical thing.
Oh.
The Francis of Assisi thing, which is by all accounts shooting in Italy, which I can't. Again, you're going to need to reopen Italy, mate. But very kind of them. Anyway, let's not look ridiculous now. Thank you very much indeed.
Need to reopen Italy. I mean, yeah, there's no. That's really quite a stringent measure, isn't it? It's like, yeah, you can do this movie as soon as the country's back.
Yeah. Anyway,
just fiddling with my background there. Didn't bring any lights with me, man. So I'm doing all these streams from the light of my laptop. So I'm a very grainy boy.
I've actually got my little. I've got one of those mist things that everyone went nuts for last year. Sat here glowing in different colours. So once the ambient light goes down, I'll probably have a little disco thing going on over here.
We've just had a new Patreon join. That's
Hey,
Ulkesh 1983 just joined Patreon. Thank you very much, Ulkesh.
Bill Robinson just gave us £15 as well on Patreon. On PayPal. Sorry.
Oh wow!
Thank you.
Jesus, thank you, Phil. So again, just put something in the chat there, man, and we will treat it as a super chat. I was about to say that. Shall we just have a quick run through of the new Patreon tiers?
Yes, but very quickly, Worms T17 says, Duncan, someone mentioning that Pierce Brosnan is doing a watch party of Goldeneye.
What? What?
How good would that be?
Oh my god! Holy
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, I remember this scene well. I wanted to get my dick out. Not Michael Apted. Who did it?
Martin Campbell.
Martin Campbell said no.
For some reason, I find the idea of Pierce Brosnan getting his dick out in front of Michael Apted funnier than him getting out in front of Martin Campbell. Don't know why.
I'll show you my gorilla in the mist, you motherfucker.
You might say it's gone 7-Up.
Very good. He did one to Die Another Day. That's on the DVD, and which was quite funny. But yeah, that sounds amazing.
Right, let me just. We revised the. No, it's fine. Do a bit of housekeeping. Non-penisy housekeeping. We revised the Patreon tiers this week. So some of you who are already on are going to get some more benefits. So $1 is, as you remember, early access to all episodes, credit on the commentaries, exclusive content. If you're on a $3 tier, I don't think this has changed either. So early access to commentaries, credit in each video, access to the behind-the-scenes shoot days when we do them. Those are kind of off at the moment because we can't be in the same room. Access to an exclusive live stream, the Q&A live stream once a month, which I think you didn't get before, now you do. Is that right? Yeah. Access to the downloadable MP3 commentary archive, so you can download those, and you get to vote for this movie every time we do a watch party. So that's changed slightly. For the Inner Party member tier, and also, by the way, just go on Patreon because I spent an afternoon redoing the graphics and I'm really quite proud of them. If you go to the Inner Party member tier, we are going to start doing an exclusive watch party for everybody on $5 and above. So if you're on $5 and above, we're going to do an exclusive watch party only for patrons. We're talking about one of Duncan's early pictures as the first one, which we can do as a PIP because it's kind of seems to be out of copyright, or at least not being aggressively defended or something, so we can do it as a private thing.
It's the filmmakers themselves have put it on their own YouTube channel, so I don't know how that.
Okay, well, we could always ask them or something, but we'll, you at the very least will be able to bring it up on a YouTube window and watch it. So $5 you get the private watch party and everything I've just said from the $3 tier and the $1 tier. We've introduced a new Minister of Congress tier, which is we've just had a super chat. Let me just look at the
TA.
Could you just read that out and I'll.
I can indeed. TA says, I demand UN investigation into extremely rigged Valverde vote. Clear evidence that the documentary commando was denied victory. It's not a documentary. It's a hit piece on John Matrix, who sucks.
If you TA seems to find himself working in a salt mine. The new tier Minister of Congress is $20 a month because two of you were already on $20 a month, so you have automatically been upgraded, and I have messaged you about this benefit. It's the same as everything we just said, except you will also receive an A3 poster signed by Duncan and myself, which we've just ordered. We're waiting for those to arrive, and we will do a personalised video or voice message for you any way you want. So if you want Duncan to say voice, if you just want me to sort of exist on a video, we'll do like a personalised video for you. So we've upgraded the Patreon. We're now at 203 viewers.
Hello.
That's exciting, isn't it? It's very exciting.
That is hello.
All right.
About to do Robocop, is it? Oh, fantastic. That.
Is it?
Yeah. Like, there's a Welsh version. Have you seen that?
Welsh Robocop. I believe Mark's in the room. Mark said he was going to come along. He said, I haven't seen him chat, but he did say he was going to come along. So, Robocop,
This is for you, Mark. Hey, never working with you again, am I?
No, he won't, Mark.
Fucking bastard.
You fucking bastard. Was it Marco Marin has joined Patreon as well? Thank you, Marco. Wow. So we got some more Patreon action going on.
Sean Dana has given us $9.99. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Is that as ein super chat?
Yeah, the super chat. Hi, lads. The wife is back again, as is Murphy the dog. Can you guess why he's called that?
Oh, wow. Nice.
No, why?
It's named after Murphy's Law.
Ow.
Yeah, neat. I always wanted two pets so I can call them Joe and Rico, which some people will get that reference, some people won't. But I do sort of feel like I would be doing it just for the purpose of naming them that, then get bored and drown them in a stream or whatever. Unless
they were terrapins, in which case you might have a slight disadvantage.
Terrapins.
Terrapin.
Oh, we're having fun, so that's all that really matters, isn't it?
Our two pets are called Aslan and Winston, so that's sort of not related to anything. We didn't even name one of them. So
It's true, but lovely
shit story.
Pets they are too. Lovely pets they are too. Okay, so we're getting. So, like we said, so what we're going to do, I was slightly wonky with my count in before, but at 8:30 we will count you in to press play, and it's the 24 frames a second version. We've received a tip from Studio Inari. Did you see that one? Did you read that one out?
So
on PayPal?
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't. Sorry, I missed that. It's coming up on my phone, but if I don't look at my phone, it's...
Yeah, I've opened the PayPal and Patreon windows just to be safe, because I don't want to... never leave a man behind, Duncan.
No, indeed.
Never leave a man behind. Yeah, so actually I need to shrink my Robo window, because I don't want to miss the chat. Don't be like that. Let's bring that over here for a second. Is it going to behave? Everyone's seeing my desktop. That's quite a tasteful packed man wallpaper that I have there. We'll go back to the Valverde background there. Yeah, I don't want to miss the chat. Get it in a good aspect ratio. There we go. Lovely. So yeah, we will count you in. So just have it ready. Obscure Entertainment just mentioned the Arrow Blu-ray of Robocop. Yes, it is, and it features my co-workers from Dead Mouse Films on a commentary track. And I think Chris might be popping in. Someone was asking about the RoboDoc interview. Chris and I have to re-record that because we had some sound issues, so that will be coming soon. But Chris is quite keen to jump on. And
£5 from Lee Hutchings. Sorry, just before.
Oh, fantastic!
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. We much appreciate it coming through PayPal because bloody YouTube scalp a big bit of dough. When
they take 30% and give it to you 2 months later, so it's a bit.
Oh yes, you have to wait forever to fucking get it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to do it in a timely manner. We're Google, okay?
We're fucking Google, man.
Sort of. It sounds like Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay. I'm Google, okay? Ben Kent says hello from Canada. Hey, Ben Kent. How you doing?
Hey, Ben.
Oh, Phil Rob talking of the Arrow Blu-ray. I too got it for Christmas from my mother. Before I asked Ed for it, I said, "Mother, get me a Robocop."
Oh, mother!
Oh, mama!
My Robocop.
My favourite film, Robocop.
Ryan Ricardo's in the room. What's up,
Ryan? Hey, man. Chip from Lee Hutchings. Thank you, Lee. Phil Rob 1978 PayPal as well. Thank you very much. Will there be a difference between Netflix and Blu-ray time rise? Don't know. Gotta say, not sure. I mean, they should all be at the same frame rate. It's very difficult, all these people syncing at once. We are looking into trying to get an option so we can properly watch party things, but we run into copyright issues. If anything's out of copyright, we will watch party it properly. If it's in copyright, we have to do things like this. Looking at Netflix Party, it's just whether or not we can get that out to everybody and whether it's sync up and stuff like that. Duncan and I are both using Netflix last time. We were on a different frame rate movie last time, which was tricky.
I wasn't using Netflix. That's the problem.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we were on different frame rates because I was on Netflix. You were on the digital versatile disc.
Ian Boucher, £5 on PayPal. Thank you, sir.
Oh man, thank you so much. God bless you. It keeps the lights on. So yeah, director's cut. So we are 2029. I'll do a 10-second countdown because I think last time I said I'm going to do a 100-second countdown or something.
Yeah, you were like 30 seconds. That's quite long.
Yeah, but then I got bored.
You're like, no, it isn't. Ready, 30, 29, 20. Oh yeah, it's quite long.
Shut up, Duncan.
Sorry, mate.
Accurate. Absolutely. All right, so guys, if you can get your get your dicks out in one hand, or your vulva,
Indeed, yes, of course.
Genitals of any kind, please cut them in one hand. And if you were able to operate your movie watching apparatus with the other, just quick chat of how we got. And we got 213 in the room, so that's a good show. So who's ready for Robocop? Director's cut. This is one that's on Netflix. So make sure you've selected the right one on your menu. I'll give you a little bit to do that. Select the right one on your menu. Okay. All right. So I'm going to count in from 57 seconds. 57. I know. I'm going to do it from 10. Okay. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
10 to 1. Then I'm going to say play. All right, everybody. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play.
Very good.
There we go.
Engine Lion is roaring.
Mugham. Mugham. Oh, Sean
Did you
Northridge
know
just
the
gave
lion's name is
€5.50.
actually walking?
Is that a legit piece of trivia?
No, I'm making it up. Sean Northridge gives us €5.50. Thank you very much. Says, thanks for keeping VVB running. Good news. My submission to a publisher for my comic went well. Got a good email back. Very good, mate. That's excellent.
Mate, good on you. Sean fucking grafts, man. Like, that dude draws and draws and draws, and you see it all the time. So, yeah, about time you got some recognition, Sean. Good on you. He's done some very funny. He did a picture of me and you, I think, pointing a pointer at the Willy graffiti from upwards.
Yes.
That was a good thing. I'll tell you something I learned about Robocop is that Petter Danielson, 50 Norwegian kroner. Hi guys, here's a prepayment for a pending Patreon membership. Happy Robocoping. God bless you, man. Thank you very kindly.
Right.
I believe you tipped last week as well, so thank you so much.
Yeah.
Where was I? I forgot what I was saying. I got derailed there.
Robocop.
Robocop. Yes, I thought, having hung out with Chris and the Dead Mouse crew, who have spent 5 years on RoboDoc, I know nothing. I know, and I thought I knew quite a good old bit of RoboCop trivia. No, no, I don't. But yeah, we're going to get those guys on soon. We'll get Chris on soon to discuss, because we talked for an hour and the audio went to shit, so we're going to do it again. It's annoying because I designed a nice graphic for it.
It'll be back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Sports Heart by Yamaha. You choose the heart. This is great. I love obviously all of this. I mean, it's difficult for us to talk about Robocop, I suppose. We have talked about this in many ways. We haven't talked about this directly on this channel, though, have we? In the first movie.
No. All this stuff's very Frank Miller, isn't it? This kind of
well, that's what's really funny, because they, like, you know, yeah, it is. But like, Frank Miller then ended up getting hired and Frank Millering it for the next one, you know, which I think a lot of its mean streak comes from Miller, because like, his kind of version of this type of humor is way harsher, and you see it in his comics and stuff like that. Robert Myers, 10 quid on PayPal, says Fast Starbuck. Cheers, Angelo. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robert Myers, for that. That's amazing. God bless you. If you've got any questions or whatever, just chuck it up, man. We're going to watch out. Niall and Angelo arbitrating all things. So there you go. Yeah, I do love that, all this media break stuff. I mean, let's do this victory lap then, shall we? When did you first watch RoboCop, Duncan?
So I think the first time I ever watched it properly was because I had a friend who was obsessed with it back in the 80s. I guess it would have been kind of around the time the film came out. I was a young lad of about 6. Not even that, actually, about 5. And my friend Martin was well into Robocop, and he had the game on the thing you put a cassette in and had to have dinner, and then it would have loaded, but all crashed.
So a Spectrum then, probably.
Probably.
It takes, yeah.
And so I knew the game more and the toys that looked nothing like Robocop more than I did the actual film. And then obviously it was a really bloody film, so I wasn't allowed to watch it forever and a day. And then it was probably about 10, 15 years later when I finally sort of saw it properly.
Oh, interesting.
So I didn't really see it as a kid, but...
Well, I did. Sorry, just to acknowledge, I know this is rich coming from me, but fucking Murphy's shirt in this scene, whew, and buttoned all the way up to the top as well.
What's that about, buttoning up shirts without a tie? I don't understand.
And he looks like a cubist pencil. This insanely skinny man in like this vile shirt. But you could quite faithfully recreate the OCP cops in Rainbow Six Vegas too.
That's right. Yeah, do you know what? I've had a little Rainbow Six Vegas 2 Renaissance.
Yeah, a renaissance.
A Renaissance. I've been playing it and quite enjoying it. Although I'm stuck on that arsing level where you're on your own going through that factory setting, and it's
and it's a fucking
pain.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Something that I think it's something that's kind of lost from the other movies. Firstly, I don't know what this film stock and stuff is for this movie, but this film is insanely grainy. And every time it gets upscaled, you see it more and more, which I don't have a problem with at all. Yost Vakano's cinematography, it's so much motion. Like, it moves all the time. And it often has, like, that whole scene has a real documentary vibe to it because it's one long take with all these interactions. And it's kind of grimy locker room talk. So it really hangs together as this kind of, like, COD documentary thing. And you'll see when we come into the boardroom scene, because it's not street level anymore, it does this big, mad, sweeping take of the table with all the executives on it. It just looks it's just such a great look.
I'm kind of aware as well. He's shooting up a lot. He's looking up a lot of the subjects and seeing like the ceiling and everything like that, which is quite unusual. I don't know if he does the same thing for the boardroom, or whether or not that's just a cop thing.
Yeah, well, it definitely, he does play with scale, because Murphy in particular, and when he becomes Robocop as well, obviously he's supposed to look more statuesque, but Murphy the man we quite often see from low angles, and a lot of kind of, as you say, sort of like, it's like chest height stuff.
Yeah,
so there's like lots of it gives it that kind of street level feel. The precinct feels dead smoky as well. Like, it's just like there's someone off camera just smoking 40 cigarettes, just blowing fag smoke into the scene all the time. But I think that's a lot of what the magic of this film is. I think this is every different component of it brings something else. I mean, because you could have the exact same script, completely competently made with super glossy cinematography, and it would just feel fake. If it was like really shiny, like I think Bill Pope's amazing, but like if Bill Pope shot this script, it'd be a deeply different movie.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, someone's saying shot in a Super 35 like T2. Yeah, I think I have heard that it's Super 35, but I got into this game long after film stocks became obsolete, so I'm a little bit shaky on all that.
Remember the original trailer for this had the Terminator music across it, which I always find very odd as a thing.
It's very jarring, isn't it? It's really jarring, that trailer. I really like it because it's Orion trying to cash in on the success of Terminator, but it's so odd because it gives it this really sinister vibe, and I wouldn't call it. This is a very nasty film in a lot of ways. It's kind of nasty and it's cruel and it's violent, but it's kind of funny and light at the same time. I wouldn't call it menacing like the way the Terminator is menacing.
Well, this is sort of indifferent to human life, whereas the Terminator is obviously very much about killing all humans, basically. So it's like an apocalyptic war and all that kind of thing, whereas this is not. This is about a man what becomes a robot.
The original tagline, in actual fact.
And man what becomes a robot.
It's about a man what becomes an robot. Oh, I love that.
There's a stenographer. I guess there would be, wouldn't there? Because that's how you.
In them days.
I
just want to make sure we're up to date on our PayPal tips. Ian Boucher, Ian Bucket, gave £5. That's a reference to a defunct 90s sitcom. And Sebastian Hamdam gave £10.
I think I already shouted out Ian.
You did. Okay, you did. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. I was.
No, good to be sure.
Make me sure, because that is the thing. PayPal doesn't give you a little ding dong on the screen like.
It pops up on my phone because my phone has the account, but unless I'm looking at it, I don't catch it.
I had to log in. My personal account's logged in on my phone, not there. Not the Valverde one, which exists separately. Someone's saying lamenting the passing of Miguel Ferrer, which is very sad. He was a great actor. I was just reminded. Who was it? Reminded me in the last few days. The Star Trek links. Ronnie Cox was Captain Jellicoe in The Next Generation. Miguel Ferrer was Random Helmsman in Star Trek 3. The Search for Spock. And Clarence Boddicker, played by. Oh God.
Kurtwood Smith.
Kurtwood Smith was the Federation president in Star Trek 6 Undiscovered Country.
Well, I think we did it because I said last time that I was like did I say it with you with TGV? I can't remember, but basically the there's a lot of alumni from this in 24.
Yes, that's right. Because Peter Weller himself did it, didn't he?
Yeah, he was the main bad guy in season 5.
What am I talking about? Peter Weller did Star Trek twice.
Yeah.
Even more. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, Into Darkness, isn't he? Yeah. Lawrence Major, he just gave us £5 on PayPal. Thank you, sir. So you've got, Peter Weller himself, you've got Kurtwood Smith, and what's the guy's name who plays... you've got the guy who plays... I remembered on the thing I did before. Oh, what's his name? Arseholes. Anyway, the guy who gets covered in toxic waste.
Oh, Emil.
Emil, yeah.
It also gets his arm cut off in ER.
Yes.
Oh God. Oh man. Oh God. These are things I all know, but I just.
Yeah.
Do you know what I did? I was like, I don't need to research Robocop. It's fucking Robocop. And then it's like, hey, do you know a number of really obvious facts about Robocop? I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't know that. It's Paul McCrane. Paul McCrane. When I was younger, I used to somehow confuse him with Miguel Ferrer. It's Paul McCrane. Is
it Bruce Greenwood? Is he one of the other?
Yeah, Bruce
guys?
Greenwood was. Bruce Greenwood is not in Robocop.
No, sorry, I'm confusing him with the. Do you know what I mean, though? The guy gets blown up in the crane.
Yeah, Ray Wise.
Ray Wise, thank you. Sorry.
I know his agent.
Sorry, Ray.
I know his agent.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
I put in a word.
Yeah.
Mark Price is in the room. He's just sent me a message saying Paul McCrane. That's Mark, you're about
Pipe up in
minutes.
the chat, Mark. Pipe up in the chat. Yeah, Mark, because Mark isn't... People on the YouTubes forget that they are about anywhere between 30 seconds and 5 minutes behind us. Owing to the fuckery of streaming. I swear down, man, streaming is so fucking stressful. I swear to God. 226 people in the room. A very impressive showing. Thank you each and all for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Poor Mr. Kenny. Now this is the thing. This is a good scene to discuss the impact of the director's cut.
Yes.
Because the director's cut for this film, because I know we've discussed at times the director's cut for Aliens and the director's cut for Terminator 2, and they introduce various I think the director's cut for Terminator 2 works very well. I think the one for Aliens introduces pacing issues, which we've discussed before.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of this is just added violence, more or less.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, it's more impactful because when there's more of it, it becomes absurd. It's taking away from it that leaves it to your imagination. So, like, the less you see of it, the worse it is. Like, the more you see of it, the point is it's silly.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, the line where they say afterwards, does someone want to call a goddamn paramedic? That's even funnier because he's just been turned into hamburger. Like, there's not a paramedic in the land that's going to do anything with that guy.
I listened to a podcast. I think it's called I Was There Too, which is where the guy interviews like people who played smaller roles in bigger films. And the guy who played Mr. Kenny did it, and he said he was doing a play in between, but he shot basically this whole thing took him a couple of weeks or something to film. And he said, a lot of the squibs went off like and hurt him and stuff. Like they would go off and like they were too close to his skin or whatever, and caused him a lot of bruises and like stuff like that. So it was quite an interesting thing to listen to.
Yeah, I bet. Because he's the centerpiece of this scene, really. He's the main gag, and all the effects work goes around him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the stop motion stuff, and that's I can't remember the process, but that's a kind of reprojection stop motion thing. But obviously, in that room on that day, it's that guy getting covered in squibs. He's in Robodoc. Fucking everyone who's not dead or Peter Weller's in Robodoc. It's insane. Not that I'm going to, keep pimping for that. But
no, you should. I think still has a lot of goodwill and anticipation behind it. So, and I'm super excited to see it when it comes out.
Yeah, me too. When I've seen Chris may send me bits, but like I say, we'll have them on the channel soon. There's a nice bit of sound here where it just kind of goes like, rah, 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 rah. And I think it's non-diegetic because it doesn't. I don't understand where that would be in the scene. I did talk to Mark about this recently. Like, I don't get where that is in the scene. I just think it's a nice little kind of abstract bit of sound stuff. Rather because the sound design in this film is one of the strongest parts because like it's the way the more human he becomes, the less augmented his voice is. He seems to project a sort of Robocop. I mean, he seems to project a kind of machine hum when we first meet him, and that gets less and less and less as he becomes more human. It's full of these great little touches like that.
Yeah, and again, I mean, this is what I mean. No, not to bring it up too much, but the freaking remake, reboot, whatever the fuck, that just got wrong off the bat. Like I remember seeing the trailer, and it was just like the whole like he still remembers everything after it's happened. It's like, what? That's not Robocop then. And what this gets right is it's like you never know. Is he a machine who dreamed he was a human, or a human who dreamed? All that stuff is just completely open ended, and and it's an essay on what is a human, what is a man, what is what does any of this mean, and like that to me is like I've said a million times before, but like the heart of this film is the whole "I can feel them but I can't remember them" line.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's exactly the thesis on what it would be like for this to happen, and what is a person? Is it a commodity? Is it a whatever? All this sort of stuff. But yeah, to the remake with its fucking stupid. I can remember everything. Oh, brr, brr, brr.
Yeah. I mean, that is like, wouldn't it be cool wouldn't it be cool if you had a robot body but also no willy? It's that because it's so like this is said totally again and again and again. But the scene where they show him what's left, it's like one scene from a better film.
Yeah,
it's one section from a better movie. But the rest of it, because they do the body horror thing, but the rest is kind of like it's so. It wants to be this kind of generic big blockbuster superhero film, but then it kind of like really half-heartedly points at some stuff and goes like, well, that might be bad, but we're not going to go into it too much because you don't want to upset anyone who might buy a ticket.
Yeah.
It's Adam Cardwell says, what time is it in the film for us? Murphy has just taken his dual-wielded pistols and leaned out the window.
Yeah, they've just kicked the doors open on my one.
They just did it on mine as you said that.
Oh, there you go. Yes, we're in sync. Can you fly, Bobby?
Can you fly, Bobby? I do love it's one. I know this is like how much I bum this film, but like Kurtwood Smith in this. Well, Kurtwood Smith in this, man. Like, because everything about him is vile, and like they Paul Verhoeven, more blood. Put the glasses on him to make him look like fucking Goebbels.
Yeah.
Or Goering. I always get those guys confused. No, Goebbels, of course not.
I think it is Goebbels. Yeah. But the casting in this is so good. It's exactly the kind of thing where I'm like, I wish they would do more of this today. Where it's like these really are oddball choices. I mean, it does happen sometimes today. I shouldn't really say that, but it's like Kurtwood Smith. You don't look at him like it's like Ronnie Cox. Putting him in the villainous role was just not thinkable at the time. And same with like Kurtwood Smith just doesn't look like he's a sort of balding middle-aged bloke. No offense to him or anything like that. He's a bloody great actor, but it's like you wouldn't look at him and go, villain for my Robot Cop film.
Well, because in that 70s show, he's mean dad, right? And he was really great in that role of is it Red Foreman? Like, he's mean dad. And you could look at him and go, look, mean dad. But like not crime lord monster. But he's so good because like it's the details with him as well, because it's the kind of the Goering thing and stuff, the general shitty way he behaves to people. But when you see his, and I always bring this up, when you see his rap sheet, it includes like rape and like all it's not some he's just a robber. He's like this, and what he does to Murphy, he's this horribly spiteful, evil monster. And because this is in a lot, a big part of this is a revenge narrative. Like, you want to see him fucking get it, you know what I mean? You want to see him pay because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know he's totally irredeemable. I mean, in so many ways, it's odd because it's sort of more than the sum of its parts in a way, because kind of the script and everything just has him doing and saying evil stuff. But yeah, he injects, and it's not like he's sort of likable as well. He's not a kind of Faust or whatever. He's not a sort of, you don't like him but hate him at the same time kind of thing. He just has a sort of, I don't know, it's Kurtwood Smith's performance really, and it's that his own sort of innate, it's a charisma, but it's not it isn't a likable charisma. It's just a weird, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not making myself clear.
Yeah, news. We just had a super chat, I believe. I heard the noise. Did we miss a super chat?
No.
Oh, maybe it's yet to come. Okay, how peculiar. I do point out, guys, if we missed a super chat, so I'd feel very guilty about that. Okay, so I think the body kit, because there's a great feature on the on the Blu-rays from a couple of years ago about I think it's called Gangs of Old Detroit, and it's about the villains because
someone subscribed. That's all.
We had a new subscriber. Okay, grand.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. If in terms of the villains of this movie, they all got on really famously in real life, and they were going out and getting pissed up and stuff of an evening, when they weren't shooting and whatnot. So the fact that these lot were all, mates off screen, I think it helps sell their chemistry and their kind of, because they work great as a team, but they're evil.
Yeah.
They're fucking Cobra or the Decepticons,
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's maybe it's that camaraderie that you see amongst them all that just sells them as a gang, because otherwise, again, on paper, they're just assholes.
Yes.
There's nothing to them in a lot, you could say, but actually, it is that. It's probably its direction, its acting, it's all those things, and that's that sort of movie magic, really, that makes these things work.
Yeah, good example of a fucking miserable shoot as well. Like, everything kept going wrong, people were having a horrible time, and yet the end result is... It's the enduring classic, Robocop.
Robocop.
Robocop. It's
Robocop.
That's like the Cajun version.
Not going to attempt a Cajun accent.
Yeah, that sounds like hard mode right there.
Yeah. If you want an example of that sort of thing, Michael Jeter in The Green Mile is. And he is obviously not Cajun, and that is an unflappable, incredible Cajun accent. See what he do? That sort of I can't do it, but yeah, Deus Mouse. You see what he do? I can't do it because I go like this.
Jays.
Jay, I am from you say New Orleans. Let's get some Creole on by the bayou or whatever. I can't do it.
So this is obviously one of the bits of restored footage, and something that's always been the case in the extended version is the added footage looks awful. I'd rather be there than not, but it's even grainier than the kind of mainline footage. So give the man a hand when he does that. That when I threw this up yesterday, that's what told me it's a director's cut, because I just saw this grainy ass fucking bit of footage. James Atkinson, just subscribe to the channel. Welcome aboard, James. I hope you're watching this. It's entirely possible the way that works mechanically that James Atkinson is just off watching a completely unrelated video. Just subscribe. James Atkinson, if you're in the room, do say hi.
And I don't like caps. Ding, 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 ding. What, doesn't he shoot his dick off, eh? It's what I would have done.
Shoot his fucking dick off, eh? This is great. This is one of those things I used to hear, because obviously the hand comes up. There's your super grainy reaction.
Yeah.
Something I used to hear was when I was a kid, it's but in America, right? In that version, you see his hand explode and fly across the floor, and it's whatever. And then when the directors come out, it's just huh?
I vaguely, I would have had this taped off TV for a while, and I'm sure it wasn't it was the super cut down version, but I was aware of some of the new stuff, and obviously on the DVD it said, I love Peter Weller's confused look when his arm flows. It was huh? I needed that for wanking.
It's me fucking wanking up.
Yeah, shot me fucking wank, Clara.
Thought we agreed on total body prosthesis. Who am I supposed to wank, man?
Yeah, no pet. That obviously this is another, next to Mr. Kenny, we've sort of seen the bloody violence and the, oh god, that's awful. That is so awful. Does it hurt?
Hey, Clarence is still alive. That line's like a director's cut line as well.
Okay.
It's just it's a lot of added cruelty. Also, this pan, it's a Rob Bottin kind of mannequin. Because I would say because that is great, because it's all one shot of a telly, so it's great, but it's kind of worse in the theatrical cut, because it does look arguably a bit more real, because it just cuts the back of its head and it blows out, rather than seeing the kind of puppet, even though it is a really fantastic Rob Bottin puppet, of course.
Yeah, no, I think I do think it sells. You know, because we did the Terminator last week, and again the sort of puppet stuff in that. Yeah, you can see it's a puppet again, but that is a modern sensibility thing, and I do think with this stuff it just works. I think you need it. That sort of rubbery.
Oh man, I think all the stuff in this works really, really well. I mean, there's things like you can tell his arms tucked behind his back, but you can't do a lot about that. I will say as well, Peter Weller. I know he's like trained in mime and like he's all kind of. You know, he's all methody and stuff, isn't he? But like his play dead is fucking nuts. Like the way how still his eyes are, and he's kind of glassy and glazed over. And in this scene here, when they kind of medivac him, they're doing all this shit to him, and they're all working on him, but he's just staring open-eyed, just into space. It's a fantastic performance as a dead guy.
Yeah, I've played a dead guy on a Holby City. And other things. I've died a bunch of times.
So much dead Duncan.
Yeah. Still perfecting it.
Still perfecting dead Duncan. I'm yet to kill you though, aren't I, Duncan? I've never killed a Duncan.
No, I don't think you have.
No. I have done some. You know, I've made Duncan magic a green screen away and talk to a little animated troll thing.
That's true.
But that's not out yet, and that's just a thing that we haven't finished, which I'm sure everyone at home is very fascinated to hear about.
That's a project that's currently in lockdown along with the rest of us, isn't it? Really?
Yep. We need to get 2 more shots for a project that we can't finish. It's deeply annoying. Okay. Can I just check that we're up to date on our PayPal tips? Lawrence Mager, did you read that one?
Did £2?
I'll just go through them just to be. I'd rather do it twice. Lawrence Mager or Marja, £5. Thank you very much. Kieran Swain, friend of the channel, and Bad Boy Junglist, Rude Boy, £2. Thank you, Kieran. Peter Carlier, £5, and Paul McCulloch, £10. Thank you very much, guys. Just
cheers, guys.
Put anything you want to say in the chat there, and we'll answer it. How long would a dead Duncan supercut last? Someone's asked about a dead Duncan supercut. Would it be a long supercut?
I don't know. Well, I mean, spoilers for Erica, but I die a few times, or potentially die a few different ways in that. Die another way.
That's a video game. That's not spoilers. It's a video game. Potential deaths. That's all good. I think it's one of them's in your show reel, isn't it? Or was it in your show reel where I saw that? Oh
yeah, yes. Although I have redone my show reel and I've gotten rid of that.
One of your show reels, it features that. Z Klingon Smith was just remarking that she synced the DVD correctly, which is very edifying. So this isn't a ridiculous farce. I mean, it is, but
well, it's not a ridiculous one,
but it is a farce.
It is.
Here we go. The great. I watched a thing from some behind the scenes material where they didn't scan this to video or anything. Like those scan lines aren't because this was shot on video. They kind of did an optical trick to do that, and all of the stuff, all of the on screen, and this is a Chris Griffiths fact. All of the on screen text, all of the targeting is all rotoscoped by hand onto there. I mean, I realise it was the 80s, but like that's all done by hand because it's from that era where that was cheaper to do. So even the scan lines. Were used by film. It was film trickery, so it's not video.
Mark Price reminds me that I was dead in Fistful of Lead for 5 minutes whilst Caitlin was shooting at him. So, I shot you in the head. That's right, you did. And hang on, I'm gonna. Sorry,
a fistful of dead, Duncan.
To totally derail what you were saying, a brief moment, fleeting moment of actual commentary.
Boo! Yes. Commentary sucks.
Mark. It was. I forgot who shot me in that, or who delivered the final blow, because my character actually spends most of that film shot in the guts. I shot you in the head, then Caitlin. That's right. I'm like a god in my own inconsistent universe of cow people.
Cow people.
I would have thought it was sheep myself, but that's fair enough. No worries at all. Lovely.
Like you are, you know.
I'll get in that, because we're 5 minutes ahead. I'll get some abusive message from him in a second. Like, don't fucking do my voice, you bastard.
Duncan, can you do Michael Douglas's Father Ted? That's
Michael Douglas as Father Ted.
Have you got a Michael Douglas voice? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. No.
I'm sure that could be worked out. What does he even sound? Well, I am a bit like that myself. I'm sure that could be worked out. Joe Mitchell asked Duncan, where can I watch Fistful of Lead? It's on Amazon, isn't it? It's on Prime?
No, it's not. It's VOD only, I think, at the moment.
There was a discount, though. There was a discount.
There is, yes.
Is it on iTunes? Look, Mark, what are you doing fucking chatting to Duncan?
Yeah.
Get into the chat here and sell your movie.
Mark will tell me in 5 minutes or whatever it is, and then I will relay where that's available.
You can also see Mark Price's other film, Night Shooters, on Amazon Prime, and I'm in
Starring
the first
Richard.
5 minutes, so watch that and turn it off. Or spin to the end and see my credit, like whatever. Don't mind.
Just pause and then have a wang.
Yeah. Also, watch that film, Blinded by the Light, about those kids in the 80s that like Bruce Springsteen. Watch the one bit where they use the BBC Micro. Turn that off and all, because that's where my involvement ends. Yeah, that's right. Richard Jackson's far-reaching film industry experience.
It's on Amazon and iTunes.
Amazon and iTunes is the serious answer. So there you go. Amazon and iTunes to watch. First we hosted the trailer here. It's our highest and most viewed video ever. Which is great for Mark, but like it's like the fucking the highest rated thing we've ever done is something we didn't make, and it got fucking. I don't know if we told Mark that we got a bloody copyright strike on it.
Yeah,
fucking bastard. Some company somewhere straight. Okay, Duncan, do Richard Dreyfuss as Father Ted.
Oh God, Richard Dreyfuss. I can't remember my Richard Dreyfuss. There's Father Ted. Right.
That is difficult.
I'm trying to think of a thing that Father Ted says that I could do.
The money was just resting in your account.
Yeah. The money was just resting in my account. There you go, or something. I don't know.
There you go.
I was in Jaws, okay.
I Am Snorlax says it is on DVD. I've seen it in CEX. Probably should have kept that to yourself, I Am Snorlax.
We've made it, Mark. We've made it in CEX.
Poor Mark and Duncan.
Probably by someone who mistook it for something else.
Along with stolen DVD players and crackheads. What we got?
It was in all the supermarkets and everything, on all the shelves.
It was. When Vote Saxon is in the chat, when he was over, we found a copy in Sainsbury's next to my house, and we did. We got Duncan replicating the cover stance from Bouncing Back.
Or whatever.
I found that on my camera roll the other day and just couldn't stop lolling. It was.
Wait, hang on. There you go.
I can replicate the cover stance. He's trying to get into choristers.
Mark says all my stuff is CEX.
Hey, CEX grade. Yeah. So
Alan Ford as Father Jack. What would be the feck?
Girls.
Drink. That would be an ecumenical matter. There you go. That's the whole Father Jack.
Writes itself. I'm all about that. Not even talking about Robocop at this point.
Yeah, serve the public trust. So this is obviously the bit, they talked about this costume and obviously they started ripping the guts out of it once they realised that he couldn't do all his Money Akeem movements in it. Which obviously results in the bits where you can see that he's wearing like tights around his neck and stuff.
Which again, is the more this film gets upscaled, the more obvious it's become.
Yeah, same is true of Blade Runner as well. It's one of my favourite Blu-rays in terms of just the look of it. But when I saw it in 4K, it just ruined it. Like you could see all the difference in blacks and stuff, like in terms of that big nightscape, and it meant you could see what was forced perspective and what was, just deconstructed everything. And it's like you don't need that. And the same is true here, I think.
Well, because I think that they were very careful about how they shot the suit, because there's something that Jos Vacano says is like from a certain angle, he's really obviously waddling.
Yeah.
So if you shoot it a certain way, he waddles because of the way the legs are and stuff. And I admit, like up close, you can see in like his neck, you can see the rings and the body stocking underneath. Very cleverly, they cast Peter Weller a very skinny man, because when he's in that suit, he looks like a big superhero or a knight. Whereas if you put a big muscly guy, because they talked about Schwarzenegger and stuff, didn't they? If you put a muscly guy in that suit, it would look ridiculous. It's like we've said before, like the Alien vs Predators. They put the Predators, like the original Predator, I forget his name, skinny tall guy put an inch of rubber on him, he looks built, buff.
Oh, Kevin Peter Hall.
Kevin Peter Hall, thank you. Whereas they use loads of huge guys in Alien vs Predator, they just look ridiculous. I've just learned that Lee Hutchings. I was in Blinded by the Light. I was an extra in the far right demo scene, the one in the residential street. We were getting lots of funny looks of people passing by. So Lee Hutchings and I both worked on the same movie.
Oh,
So
Valverde, I've just noticed on the live chat our VVB background's disappeared. It's just your desktop.
Oh,
image.
whoops! That'll be because I've pressed it. There you go. So that will come back shortly.
Okay,
I think that's because I was farting around with my browser window, and just sort of
He's called a robo, a car, and
He is a
drives at night.
Drives at night in a car
with a dog cage in the back. It's an estate.
He's planning a robo family, including a robo dog. Did you ever hear? This has come up before. My brother Niall's in the chat because this is yet another thing that Niall and I experienced, together. Was we all had Billy bullshit mates growing up, and I think my brother will talk at length about the different Billy bullshit mates we had. But there was always this thing of because Lewis dies in Robocop 3, right? And Robocop 3 had a 2-year delay before we got it and everything, and it's like, Lewis dies in Robocop 3, then they turn her into a girl Robocop, and then they fall in love, and then they're married. Did you ever hear that? Because I heard that quote from a few different kids when I was a kid, like the Billy bullshit. Robocop 3.
Then my dad knows karate. Dickhead.
Yes, very much the my dad knows karate dickheads. Yeah, exactly. It was like Lewis becomes a lady Robocop.
Yeah.
So okay. Oh no, I've just killed the background again. Yeah. This guy's in Return of the Living Dead Part 3. For fans of that, this is a great example of the sound design because, when he flings the door open, it's like a hum, and they.
That doesn't make sense.
No, he would have to be as strong as Robocop in order to bend the barrel of the gun. The barrel of the gun.
Not only that, but when he turns around and hits him with the back of his hand, the guy goes flying in the wrong direction towards the.
Yeah. But it is cartoony. This gets away with it because it's not supposed to really be realistic necessarily. So I'm kind of alright with that. There's Iron Man comics and stuff hidden in that scene, by the way.
Yeah. This lady's wearing such an obvious wig because. Why does she have a? Oh, because they have to cut some of the hair off. Don't they?
She does look like one of the characters from Grease, doesn't she? It's a strange thing, but they have to. He's got that kind of crazy future flick knife with the finger guards, presumably for unless it's a knuckle duster, I suppose. But it's a very bulky and practical knife.
This is great. Really, sort of in silhouette. This is very sort of superhero stuff, isn't it? The framing of this.
Yeah, this is fantastic. It's the lamp behind him to make him kind of cast a shadow over them and stuff. It's great. This is a very hard scene to watch. This is a very deeply unpleasant scene to watch.
Shoots him in the dick, mate.
In the duck. Yeah. So, have you seen the Fatal Farm version of this scene?
I'm sure you've sent it to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Go Google that, guys. You can watch it yourselves. My brother just brought it up.
What remind me of what happened?
It is Fatal Farm are very, very funny, and Fatal Farm have some videos on YouTube. They're really funny. There's a thing called Our Robocop Remake where a number of people remade a scene each and they edit it together so it's a time. And in the Fatal Farm version of this scene, it is brilliant, to be fair. He shoots these guys' dicks off, and then 40 gang members all come running at Robocop with their dicks out, and he starts shooting all their dicks off. And then he pulls out a second gun, and he's spinning on the spot, shooting all their dicks off. And they all there's a censored version on YouTube, but there's an uncensored version where they're wearing prosthetic dicks with squibs in. So you see all their dicks, and the last guy goes come on, do it, and he's just standing there with his dick out, and Robocop shoots his dick off. It's great.
This has a very, actually, in a way, though not as long, it's structured similar to Superman the movie, because you've got this, once he becomes Robocop, he has this sort of night of solving crime, and it's kind of that kind of almost montage of him.
Yeah, this is great. There's a fantastic sequence of him. Yeah, like you say, him do-goodering, but obviously also it's all kind of wrong because he shouldn't be shooting a guy's dick off. Like he should, like this thing of the mayor. Like you never get a mayor holding the cabinet, a former mayor holding the cabinet at gunpoint. You know, like he's doing crime. It is the Judge Dredd Future City. He's doing crime solving in the absurd, hyperbolic Future City, and it's crazy future crimes. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is the crazy thing is like this is basically boardroom people having a go at making Robocops. You know, and he's the kind of halfway house between an actual cop and Ed 209. You know.
Yeah, exactly, and because they were really on the nose about him not necessarily having free will in the remake, whereas this he kind of goes through the motions, but then he slowly wakes up. But then because there's the one bit in Robocop remake where Gary Oldman goes, "Turn off his brain thoughts," and then he walks out and goes, "I am Robocop, doing the Robocop voice" for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and then he wakes up from that, and it's like, well, why have you put this halfway in the movie? It's an odd, very odd, strange place.
Well, and it's not the point, is it? The point is that his humanity, or the ghost in the machine, or whatever it is you want to call it, isn't something they can do anything about. That's what humanity is. It's like if you know, you can't write it out. It's not a program. It's not, you know, and that's the whole point in this. And it's like, even though he's had it's this weird thing of he's had his memory wiped, but not his sense memory. So it's like he's got these emotional pulls to things that he doesn't know what they are and everything. It's like that's brilliant. That's such a brilliant thing to make. I mean, it's not you know, they don't make too big a deal out of it, but it is like a
but that's what I like. What's great about this film is that all that stuff is done because it's a thunderously unsubtle film for the most part, but then it's hiding a number of really subtle messages. You know, there's lots of really kind of subtle, because all the kind of Christian stuff in it can be quite in your face, and the satire of it is way the way out there. But all the kind of subtle things in the sound design and the framing, and the costumes and the art design and the edits, because it's like that edit that you see him bounce back up on the trampoline, that edit there is smash cut to news, and then they say like, you know, and then there's a high school named after Lee Iacocca. Like, you know, I mean, that's just thrown away as a line. It's like Lee Iacocca Elementary, and you just throw that away and just carry on.
I like that as well because you sort of it's almost going from the diegetic to the non-diegetic in a way where you've got you sort of see the cameras shoot him on the ground, and then it cuts to. Although again, the image you're shown in the media is the image from the film, not from the news cameras, because the news cameras followed him down to the ground.
Oh, dude, there's a bit in I think it must be. Oh, which Star Trek movie is it? It's Star Trek 3, where they watch like edited highlights of Star Trek 2. It's like, wait, there's creative choices in this security footage. Like, you might as well have star wipes in it. Like, what the fuck?
Well, it's the same thing in You Only Live Twice, when the helicopter, there's the car chase, and then the helicopter picks up the pursuing baddies with a magnet and then drops anything. But it's like there's James Bond's watching it on a monitor in the car, like watching this helicopter fly over wherever it is and drop it in the sea, and it's like, who's filming that? Like, what?
And then when it has like edits in it and stuff. Well, here, because like when Casey Wong's talking about Robocop, they zoom in on the billboards where the dick shooting scene just happened.
Right.
So it's they kind of recycling this scene, the Bob Morton news scene. There's shitloads of B-roll for this. If you watched it.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I have. Yeah,
and it's all because it's all famously Miguel Ferrer. Miguel Ferrer, God rest him. He's really funny on the extras, just rinsing on Peter Weller because he knew him and was totally taking the piss out of his method acting stuff,
right?
Which is quite funny. But there is B-roll of Peter Weller as Murphy, you know, just sat there being interviewed, and he won't give up the performance because once he was on set, he was Murphy or Robo only. We've had some. I'm keen to just get into some Billy bullshit because I do love a good Billy bullshit. I had a mate in school, Captain Meets Adventures. I had a mate in school who went to America for a holiday and claimed that he was in Lost Boys and Top Gun. that's the classic Billy bullshit. Is when I was in America.
Do you think the Billy bullshitters still exist? Because certainly claims like that nowadays could be disproven. Like with the flick of an iPhone.
Well, since you mentioned it, I Am Snorlax comes in with. I had a friend who claimed he was one of the QA testers for the original Crash Bandicoot. He was in primary school. Because the thing is now, if someone says like, "Oh, I was in a movie," as you say, all you have to do is go to the IMDb and look it up. I wonder, but also in the world of editing Wikipedia, you can self-insert into any context you like, and just be like, "Oh no, I was absolutely." an extra in Midnight Run, even though I wasn't born yet. Because then someone just goes on Wikipedia and puts themselves in the entry for an afternoon and screenshots it, or whatever.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I don't know.
I would like. I don't want to go too far off topic, but I would like to encourage some Billy bullshit stories in the.
Yeah,
all the Billy
bullshit.
Give us all your Billy bullshits. We had my brother and I knew a kid called Joseph who was the ultimate Billy bullshit, and his uncle, quote unquote, built the Sega owner's house, whatever that means. So he claimed to have like Sonic 4, but it was locked in the loft. He had a thing where he would lie about having a thing and then say it was locked in the loft. So he had like this ultra super duper cable hookup, but the box was locked in the loft and operated by remote control from the front room, but also his TV wasn't working.
I have one Billy bullshit story that I actually did. But I've told it before. But basically, so it wasn't. It was a Billy bullshit story in the sense of my friend would talk about Terminator 2 a lot, and it was more a case of calling because I think he was Billy bullshitting that he'd seen it. It had been out, so it wasn't like one of those like I've seen it before it's come out things. But he said he'd seen it, and I was like, no way, your parents won't let you see that because we were like 5 or 6 or whatever. And he went, no, I've seen it. And then I went, I started to believe him, so I was like, and I said I'd seen it as well, which was a lie. And then I was like, shit, I have to make some shit up here.
Oh,
so I was like, my favourite scene is where he comes up out the floor, and in my little head, because I didn't even know about T-1000 or anything like that, I had this image of like an endoskeleton busting up through like a cabin wood floor with like guns and like gunning people down.
Sounds kind of wicked, to be fair.
Sounds really cool. I had it all in my head, and I was like, yeah, that bit where he comes out of the ground with like 2 I think I said machine guns. I just said that bit where he busts out the floor, which obviously happens in the film, but like not like that. And he was like, yeah, that was awesome. And I was like, yes. Either he's lying and he's had to sort of agree with me, or I managed to blag a scene from Terminator 2. I was like, yes. But that was technically some Billy bullshit on my part.
Mark Greaves just gave £10, thank you, Mark, to be spent on penny whistles and moon pie or a strutter bubble.
Very good. Strutter bubble.
That's
yes.
good. That's good deep cuts.
That is deep cuts.
Just getting some Billy bullshit chat here. Just want to get some Billy bullshits. Hold on. Claim to watch sequels that were never made, such as Fatal Attraction. Yeah, Back to the Future 4 or whatever. I used to love those. It's like, yeah, I saw Back to the Future 4 in America and Marty fights the dinosaurs. That was like a classic.
Marty fights the dinosaurs.
Mate, I had a mate called Ben who went to America, then claimed he'd been in the original Jaws, as in inside the shark, and pretended the shark was eating him, but his brother ruined the pictures. Oh man, I was falsely accused of Billy bullshitting for saying I played pitch and putt with my dad. Of course, that happened. What kind of monster would take you out for that? Oh my god. Hold on. Oh yeah, the IT technician Matt Holness plays the IT guy in The Office. He's like a Billy bullshitter.
There's the bum wiggle.
The Billy bullshit boy at my school, says Dan Lyles, started crying when we watched Robocop for the first time at a party. The film was turned off and I didn't see the rest of it for another year.
There was always that kid, wasn't there? There's someone we know who threw up when someone showed him pornography. We're not going to say who.
Oh,
yeah.
That always... Someone we know vomited when shown pornography. Penetration. My brother just brought up, interestingly, my brother's saying it's Joseph, but it wasn't. It was a guy called Tom. He claimed that he knew ninjutsu, and the way he knew ninjutsu was that he got a book from the library, and the book had a little LCD computer on it, and it graded your ninjutsu. And because he finished the book, he was a ninja. It was absolute high level Billy bullshit. And he used to do things like this. We'd be walking down the street, and he'd drop behind us a few steps, and then he'd go, oh, and like land, and we'd go like, what was that? And he just goes like, oh, I just did a flip. It was such excellent Billy bullshit. I mean,
expert level Billy bullshit though.
The Billy bullshit guy in my school said his dad was the backup drummer for Green Day. There was one up here, I can't remember who said it, but someone's Billy bullshitter claimed their dad directed Toy Story.
It's a bit like what their dad's no, Brad Bird didn't direct Toy Story, whoever it was. The what's it, Father Ted, Pat Mustard, when like she's going, he's this, and he's had Andy taught Elvis Presley karate, and like all this sort of stuff, making up bullshit. Pat Mustard.
Pat Mustard. This is from Errol the Ponce.
When he goes, what does he say? I've had to yank myself off around the clock because I haven't had any proper sex with girls.
With girls.
Proper sex with girls.
I had full penetration with a woman.
I had to yank myself off around the clock. Around the clock!
I literally just watched someone leave the room when you said that.
Sorry.
No, fuck it, who cares? A girl at school claimed her dad discovered the wreckage of the Titanic and lent it to James Cameron to use in the film. Oh, God. I do know. Brilliant. So Ryder Nexus, there was one kid who claims he's in the background of a Harry Potter film. Now, there are so many people in Harry Potter films that I know at least two. My friend Sky was in a Harry Potter film, and you can see her as an extra. I haven't seen Sky in ages, bless. I don't know what she's up to these days, but she was in it, and so was Ben, who auditioned to be Harry Potter. Ben from the Conversation Hat podcast.
Oh right,
we discussed it on the day he was with us. But yeah, wait. Floyd75 Dylan says, there was a Billy bullshitter at high school who claimed his uncle hacked into Eon and had the next script for the new Bond film. He also claimed to own camels.
Even though we lived on the outskirts of Birmingham.
That's fantastic. I love those
Very
extra.
Good.
It's all those extra Billy bullshits who they have to. It's not enough to have one big whopper, is it? You can't have that one.
Well, I think it's that thing of like, well, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Like you might as well, because you've already tarnished. You're already in for you're lying, so you may as well.
There's a kid called Josh who my bro knows. He used to live around the corner. He turned up at our school late, a few years in, and he was just like always causing grief for himself for being a little fucker. And he said that Arnold Schwarzenegger came to his auntie's house, and it was just like, right, because it was like, completely random. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger came to my auntie's house and had lunch with us, and that was his opening gambit when he joined our school. It was like, Arnold Schwarzenegger came to my auntie's house. We're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then we were on his case for ages about it, and then he turned up with a picture of him, clearly at like Madame Tussauds, next to a really ropey waxwork of Arnold dressed in his Last Action Hero costume, flexing. And it's like, that's you with a waxwork. Like, what the fuck? Like, he came to your auntie's house. Like, what the
dressed in a costume and flexed.
Just in a break from shooting.
Good evening, Christine. This is lovely pie. Like, why would that happen?
I enjoy coming to your house in Cambridgeshire. For no reason whatsoever.
I hear the backs are especially lovely this time of year. Lee Hutchings says, my Billy bullshit story is a school friend of mine told me he'd watched Batman 10 and the Batmobile blew up and killed him because he pressed all the wrong buttons at the same time.
It's not a very marketable film, but it's a very brave move on your part. Like, yeah, we've skipped to 10 and he dies from pressing buttons.
So you can see how it ends, and then we'll get back to the rest of it.
Oh, yeah, it's based on Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. It's the end of Batman's career.
That's such a harsh stunt, man, when Emil goes over the fucking car.
I do have I'm going to name drop again. So I mentioned the last one that I went and filmed an interview with Mark Goldblatt with Chris and Deadmau5. He edited Terminator, but he did all the second unit for this. So a lot of the inserts of Emil across the floor and stuff like that, when the first unit wrapped this, he directed all of that.
Wow.
So like there's quite a lot of second unit in this scene, and he was just describing to us, I think Emil skidding across the floor and stuff. That was all directed by Goldblatt. Legendary editor and director of Dead Heat and the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, and I'm a huge fan of Dead Heat at the very least. So there you go. There's some real talk.
He's in the room, people. He's in the room.
Here we go. Here's the data spike that doesn't make sense because his arm goes in a really weird way.
Yeah.
But you only know it's one of these things you have pointed out.
Rick Moranis.
Yes. That character comes back in Robocop 3, played by someone else, Cecil the clerk.
Right.
So kind of the strange continuity of the Robocop films, because they bothered bring that character back, yet it's clearly a completely fucking different police precinct, which is completely fucking different to the one from Robocop 2, which was also a completely fucking different police precinct.
You didn't have the Cecil the Clerk action figure?
There must be one. There's probably a Hot Toys one that costs £9 billion.
9 billion. Good.
Well, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh yes, we hand modelled the zips. It's just like, they are cool, but it's like, dude, like, you know, there's a global pandemic.
I don't want to be the guy who has that in my. I mean, I do and I don't. I it's one of those things where I just couldn't get away with collecting stuff like that. My wife would laugh me out of the house.
I used to have a few bits. Like I've got the Todd McFarlane Robocop, and I've got the NECA Ed 209, and those are the ones I allow myself.
No, they're cool, man, and they sit next to your bourbon collection. That's exactly what I want.
Next to my
but
drink.
I can't have it.
Yeah, here's the
get smashed and look at Ed 209.
Just look at it. Yeah, you know, I did. I allow myself those, but I can't get any more. And when I get bought them, I tend to store them and stuff. Or I won't take them out of the boxes because all they do is collect dust. This is a really interesting middle-aged conversation, isn't it? Just too much dust being collected.
Stop saying middle-aged. We're not middle-aged.
Oh, Duncan.
Unless you intend to die at 72.
I mean, we are both of Scottish extraction, so I don't think.
Well, my dad made it to 75 and counting, so.
Oh yeah,
and he's had coronavirus, so.
Fuck you.
So fuck you, Grim Reaper.
What, no, did you see what Niall just wrote? Can you say that in the correct voice?
Lynn, I put my foot on a data spike.
See, I love saying that to Duncan when we're talking about like the YouTube analytics. I love to go like, I'm looking at the subscribers and we had a spike.
My wife even does it now because I do it so much. I'm like, right,
right. That's just right. You just got that from me though. That's just the thing that I do.
I know.
Now you got your wife doing it as well. Right. I don't know, it's just my incredulous voice is just sort of like this dehydrated lizard. Right.
It's just the appropriate response for so much stuff, and the Billy bullshitters being one of them. You know,
particularly in 2019, it's so apt. Like, you know, you're exhausted from just going right all the time. Oh Christ Jesus! So anyway, the popular film Robocop.
Yeah.
This is the least amount of film chat ever. But this is what I mean though, like because we're all watching a movie together. You know, it's not really a commentary. I'm happy to throw out like trivia and stuff, but it's not really a commentary. We're all kind of like
yeah. Scanline Vision.
And
that's this sort of virtual estate agent thing, or realtor, as it would be in the States.
You suck as a husband, Robocop. He should have taken his mug back if he spent the rest of the film carrying that mug around. I am the best husband. My son is a Satan. He's a bit like Spanish Inquisition though, isn't he? Like his kid.
Yeah.
That's another Robocop 2 thing where it's just like a totally different kid as well. But it's because they have to have him. That kid probably had like a mortgage and a divorce by the time they made Robocop 2. They had to get like another kid in.
The good thing about it as well, like making it sort of timeless in the way it's like it doesn't explicitly say it's the future, is, you know, things like why would he have a Polaroid camera?
Yeah, don't put a year on it. It's non-specific 80s future. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the good things they do. I will address Lee Hutchings. Robocop revisiting Murphy's house is my favourite point in the film. The acting and music are perfect. You can really feel Robo's emotion. I agree. This is a really wonderful
This
film.
bit here where he starts to clench up and walk around, it's just like...
Yeah,
ooh.
great performance. Purses his lips. You know, like he starts to experience emotion properly, and it's rage.
Yeah.
You know, you really feel it. And that little insert when he smashes the screen. Dun 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 dang 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 dang. Just because we can't play the soundtrack, so you know.
He's quite short, isn't he? I've always thought that because, like, when you see him in the behind-the-scenes stuff and everything, like he does look quite short.
Peter Weller?
Yeah.
No, I'm looking that up. So I'm not having you tell me Robocop is short. Oh, he's 1.38 metres. I don't know what that means. I'm British. Strange difference splitting in fucking metric and imperial for no reason.
The guy just catches his gun. There. Oh, right, no, right, dog.
Just getting that info. He's a little over 6 foot.
Okay.
He's a little over 6 foot, and I'm sure he's got some kind of pads in his shoes or something. But this is where I do love Ray Wise. He's fucking great. This is where Ray Wise tries to kick him into fucking knackers.
Are you behind me then? Because I'm looking at table full of cocaine. Isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I am. I was just scrolling through other windows. I'm looking at Babby and the bitches.
Oh, good.
Yeah, this is another thing, Clarence Boddicker. It's the way he operates the grenade with his tongue.
Yeah,
it's like everything about it is just being a skis, like.
Well, he's just taking far too much pleasure in it.
It's not just a job, is it?
Well, and he's experiencing it. The sort of sense of taste and everything is quite a animalistic, carnal almost sense. So it's like to inject that into something like this. It's like, yeah, that's horrible. That's just, and he's just enjoying it far too much.
Oh yeah, Paul Verhoeven, of course, was in that scene.
Yes.
Just going and he's in the 6000 SUX ad as well. He's the guy going, "No, I'm Dutch."
I just realised I'm Dutch.
Oh no, spetters!
Why isn't it called spiders? No, Paul. They're called spiders. Spetters. They're going to make a weep. I don't like it when they crawl in the base.
Oh god. Oh yeah, so he's got this kind of crazy Desert Eagle with the Desert Eagle barrel-shaped silencer.
Yeah, I know. It's far too sort of on brand, that, isn't it?
I'm all about that. It really annoys me in a game when you get a Desert Eagle with a silencer and it's not barrel-shaped. It's like, no. Robocop showed me there's a brand one that seemed predicted DVD.
Not shaped correctly to the barrel.
The barrel.
It goes on with a quarter turn though. Like silencers don't do that, do they? I think they go on. You have to screw them in quite a lot because.
I like that. There's great sound design there because it goes like glunk when he puts it on, which is kind of
yeah. There's a great YouTube channel with I think it's the slow mo guys, or it's one of those ones where like they did like slow mo stuff of like a Perspex silencer and stuff, so you can see it all going through.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are cool. My mate saw Robocop 4 on his trip to the US in 1994, says Lord JP.
Did he now?
Apparently Robocop gets in a spaceship and goes back in time. I love
He might as well, because you're making this shit up.
I love Kid Lies. Kid Lies are just the best. Yeah. So good. When is Pitches Leave coming back, says Dan Lars, friend of the show, Dan Lars. Nobody watched Pitches Leave, man. I really like doing them. But they just didn't get numbers, sadly.
I mean, it was early days in the channel as well, don't forget.
Yeah,
but
true.
I think
maybe we could do a one-off or something. Maybe we could do one over Skype for funsies.
Yeah, we could do. I mean, the good thing about... What was the other one? Troping mechanism.
Mechanism, yeah. Those
sort of things were great, but like probably not sustainable long term because you know there's only so many things that you can come up with.
The awkward teenage years of Valley Broadcasting.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we are just trying to. We haven't been very good. We've done a couple of these recently, but we haven't been very good at getting content out. Omar just gave us £3. Thank you, Omar.
Oh, mate. He must be smashed, but
Omar's on the drink.
Yeah.
This is for keeping me sane.
Oh,
we
love you, Omar.
We're the anti-sanity.
Yes, that we are. I love the way this guy's just got a glass of red wine. It's like.
I like that. It's like he's slightly classier,
and he's got a pen in his breast pocket, like sort of Ned Flanders type. Oakley dokley doo.
It was cool in the 80s. I love the sniffing of the wine fingers.
You
know, Brian Shell says bring it back. Ian McGrath says I miss it.
Okay.
I really enjoy Pitches Leave, says Lord JP. It did give it, Dan Lars points out it did bring us a Bristol Still Chart the movie.
That's true.
We're still waiting for Bristol Still Chart the movie. I will purposely write an entire Risky Quizness game for you guys just to watch you play it. I am, Steve, slowly writing your new Risky Quizness. Angelo suggested that we do. It's very popular to do kind of online pub quizzes now. We could do like an online Risky Quizness, which I'm like, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
What about your ideas for a true Starship Troopers sequel? Well, I don't know, man. Ed Neumeyer had a big hand in all them excellent sequels that came out. I don't know if I don't think I'm sort of a bit like this. I wouldn't presume to sequelize. Starship
yeah. Okay. I just think this is it's so. What's the example of like the first sequel? Like, as in like the first kind of mainstream blockbuster, because it just becomes such a thing now. I just don't know.
I associate sequels really with the 1970s. There are certainly things before. I mean, because, like, for example, the Planet of the Apes movies, the Bond movies begin in the 60s and then go into a cycle of sequels. And I don't know if that was kind of what opened the floodgates. Because you don't hear about, Casablanca 2 or...
But the Bond movies, I never really think of those as, like, sequels. I mean, I know they are, technically, but it's always kind of like they were a series of books that they were making into films, sort of.
Yeah, but I suppose, but... I mean, because there's things, such as like The Detective with Frank Sinatra, which eventually got a sequel, not really, was Die Hard. There was a series of books there, but they didn't run with that. So I don't know, because, again, I think of The French Connection, I think of Jaws.
Jaws is probably the first one I kind of think of. Yeah, certainly The French Connection.
Yeah, the Godfather movies as well. I'd love to do The French Connection. Godfather as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I view that as something that begins in the 70s. It's not something I've really had an involved discussion about. It's something you need Toby for.
Yes, that's true.
I think maybe that's what we can. We will dial into Toby. We're going to dial into Toby.
Dial T for Toby.
Dial T for Toby. The sequel's Dial M for Murder. No, it's not. It isn't that.
I feel at pains to point out. Something they didn't do in the newer film that they could have done was to have had him shot in the mouth or something, and like, you know what I mean? I just think there's so many weird choices in that film, like the fucking disembodied hand on a spank.
Well, because it's one of those things that they go out of their way. This is a fantastic scene. Peter Weller claims to have been listening to Peter Gabriel whilst doing this.
Sledgehammer, wasn't it?
Yeah, great track. What were we talking about? Oh, that's totally gone. Dial T for Toby.
Dial T for Toby. Yeah. No, this because what isn't it? Doesn't he have some sort of bird-like quality or something, the way he moves and everything? My dad hates this, by the way. Every time I've tried to convince him to watch this, I'm like, Dad, it's a really good film. You should just give it another try. And he's like, yeah. And then one day he goes, "You're right. I won't do his voice because you might be listening." He goes, "You're right. I watched it. It was all right. You're right. It's actually a good film." And then it turned out he'd been watching the remake. I was like, "No," and I was like, "The original." And he's like, "Oh no, not with all that silly nonsense," because he just thinks the way Robocop moves is really dumb and everything. And it's like, "No, it's brilliant."
No. I mean, Steve Allen. Hey, Richard, did you know the invention of numbered sequels is thanks to the British? I did not know that. Please fill us in, because I didn't know about that. After we invented the TV, we invented the numerated sequel. Television too. The Robocop, the remake of Robocop is a viable watch party option, I think, because it's on Netflix. Yeah, it does inspire that, but think about how little we're talking about the real Robocop.
That's true.
Apply that to the fucking
remake.
remake.
A good point, sir.
Yeah,
you
right?
make a good point.
See, there is method to my madness. Oh no, I've killed the background again. Everyone's getting my tasteful Pac-Man wallpaper.
Doc Jones.
Doc Jones.
I'll look for Doc Jones.
That's for the great bits. It's like this glass explodes before he throws it through the window with a lady. But people like to Fiona Fullerton. People like to point out the kind of slightly Garth Marenghi-ish stuff in this, but there's a few kind of beeps and bloops which really do not derail the quality of the film, in my view. I just think that the story of it is so strong that the little kind of fuck ups in it don't matter.
Yeah.
Nikki has been asking us a few times, which we Doug Wanacott is citing Quatermass too. Question for both of you lads: if you're bored by a movie, is that when you start to notice all the things don't add up compared to a film you're enjoying? I get that question, Nikki, because when I'm bored by something, I start hunting out inconsistencies, and just like mentally, because your brain wants something better to do, you're kind of looking at effects and looking at framing and looking at edits and things. I suppose, because I've said this before, it's like Terminator 2 is the perfect example of that. It's like when you really think about it, it doesn't add up. It starts unraveling itself, and that's one thing I've sort of come to like less about it over time. But because it's such a brilliant film, you just don't, you kind of just go with it, and it's not stuff you just don't notice it on first or second or third viewing. It's just like, so yeah, I would agree with you on that. My brother, God bless him, is wrangling the questions that we're not answering and putting.
For the love of fuck, answer this guy's question.
Robo went to the Terminator school of throwing people around instead of killing them. Dude, he's pasted 1,000. Okay. Robocop went to the Terminator school of throwing people around instead of killing them. Yeah, totally, but it's like a revenge scene, right? So he's sort of torturing him and he can't kill him. So, nah.
Yeah, it's not Terminator sort of style of like this is how you kill a human.
Doing it for plot convenience.
This is how you kill a John Connor. You throw him around the room. It's like,
my brother used to throw me around the room, says Brian Shields, saying Clarence Boddicker, and my response was OCP. That's great. Wasn't the third one Quatermass in the Pit? Controversy in the number sequels debate. Neil Hutchinson says Robocop 2014. I'd rather puke into my mouth than suck it down again. Fair play. Floyd 75 Dylan says Gobbling Blood at the table always grosses me out. It does. It is grim. Captain Meets Adventures says apparently Jaws 2 was the first film to use the number 2 without the use of part. That was my mate's idea. Has my brother posted all of these, or is that just the actual chat? Oh no, I was reading the actual chat.
When yeah, I had a joke about.
Sorry, I thought we'd missed all of those, but then they kept coming, and I realised I was just reading the live chat.
You were just reading the live chat. I know. I was just like, is this necessary?
Has he lost his mind? Is he all right? Is he all right? Is he all right? Oh god, 222 people being entertained by a man just reading a list of things. But then again, there are countless YouTube channels where it was some geezer doing videos into his mobile phone about how he likes Leeds United, but then one day he caught a video of his toddler getting hit in the face by a car door and he got 10 million views, and they have more subscribers than us. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's the strange world of how YouTube subscribership works. So we are very touched to have 222 people that are here on purpose, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
people that are meant to be here. We believe. Maybe I'm just flattering us by assuming that.
I think we do very well considering our relatively small subscriber base. I think we do seem to engage fairly well. So
yeah, well, the lot of you that we have really, really care, which is really nice. Like the ones of you here, you really give a shit, which is so nice. I think we've just had ein super chat. Naked Gun best sequel naming 2.5, 33 and a third. I did always love the way they called.
That was a thing that was a thing that just no one could do thereafter, right? Because it was just like, well, they've got that now. Like,
yeah, that's their thing now. That's their thing. Sega Dan says, I was saying Boo Earns.
Boo Earns.
Pepsi loving Asian janitor says, coming in late with the 2-fitted tackle for #flaccid member. Good work.
Whatever. You're dead to me. And everyone else, because you die in a corridor.
Valverde is the best British film channel, says poor, misguided, but lovable Stan Wilkes. Just put it in your leg, man. Love you. But that's very sweet.
We haven't made any documentaries yet.
This is quality. Well, true that. Yeah, true that.
This stuff's always great. Yeah, like seeing his eye through the thing and.
This is such a and again this is this is a kind of a tipping point, because when you start seeing his face is when his kind of humanity gets a more of a literal, kind of a literal treatment.
Well, he sort of, in a way, it's like saying his humanity is awoken by the very thing that killed him, i.e. he gets shot to shit. And then that's what kind of wakes him up in a way, maybe. I should have gone to film school.
Yeah, Nicky, sorry we missed your question, man, but I hope we answered in a satisfying way, whilst I panicked and answered all the things. They do great work with Ed 209, because there are loads of full-size statues of Ed 209. So like when the rocket launches, you get that all in one frame of the rocket coming out. Obviously, there's one where the top part pivots in the car park at the end. There's one stood in the boardroom scene with smoke pissing out of the barrel of the guns.
Yeah, the barrel.
Yeah, so his little eye flicking about. It is something that they just kind of, as much as I love Robocop 2, and maybe it's part of what they're trying to say, but like the thing of damaging his eye, they just do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, it's a cool effect because it's that blowtorch, isn't it? So it makes like an S.
Well, it's kind of like the Terminator thing, where like they just feel obliged to that he sort of just in stages loses part of his face, and it sort of reveals the endoskeleton underneath, and and it's like, and then they just they get far too clever with it, and it's like, now you can see his fucking, through his cheek or whatever. And it's like,
yeah,
but you're not adding anything really, are you?
Well, yeah, and I will say like Ed Neumeyer often talks of how it's not heaving his head. It's just they skinned the face off and put it on this robot body. So when people are kind of like, shoot him in the mouth, it will kill him. It's like, no, it would just reveal a horrible flesh grimace underneath. Lee Hutchings says, love how Robocop walks down the stairs like a dodgy geezer. It's a very brief shot, and it's on focus of Ed 209, but you can see him do the waddle because it's...
right. Yeah, he's sort of waddling there while he's getting shot, kind of. But it's one of those things you need to bend at the knee so that you can.
Well, there's an interesting little thing here. So obviously, if you want to capture the flashes, like muzzle flashes like that, you need to shoot at a high shutter speed to get the flashes like that. And they did that purposefully in this scene because Verhoeven wanted them to look like flaming torches. It was the villagers chasing Frankenstein's monster.
Right,
so you wanted them to look like flaming torches. So in the close-ups and a lot of the shots, you get the muzzle flashes because it's shot in that shutter speed. Yeah. Which is like that. Who would have thought of that? Because there's people who just go, well, it still looks like that. But it's that little extra bit of detail, and there's loads of great inserts here of like different parts of him kind of exploding, and and it is like it's a passion play. It's that Catholic kind of Christ thing of like whipping Christ.
Yeah. Josh asks, would you think Robocop is Verhoeven's best film? He thinks that.
I mean, I probably would predictably say that, but I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff in Verhoeven's work, and even his kind of newer things I find really interesting. I mean, I've got to say, it's Robocop's the one I watch all the time. So
there's an interesting thing there where you've obviously got a stuntman doing all the falls down the different levels and stuff, and then when the car shows up, he puts his hand up to mask that it's not Peter Weller, right? As well as a performative thing, but it's like you can always tell when it's not the actor, because obviously it's such a studied performance of movement that when it's like you put a stuntman in it and he's just rolling around and moving like a bloke in a costume, it's like
well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because I think I think it's Nightmare on Elm Street 2, they recast Freddy Krueger with just a stunt guy, and only survived a couple of shots, and it's just, well, that's just some guy, it's not. Here's Paul Verhoeven in a moment squealing at and this is great because it's like a reel from another movie just kind of shoved in.
There he is. Yeah.
With a beard on. Ah!
I guess I'm Butch now, or something.
Whatever. Yeah. 6,000 SUX, 8.2 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
16 tons of American pride. Whoa, she's wearing teletext on her jumper.
Fucking hell, yeah.
She's wearing
a migraine.
Teletext. Is this the Star Wars orbiting peace platform?
It was just misfired. Misfired.
Well, it was just like 2 former US presidents are known dead at this time or something. It's such a great line. I love, because all the stuff, I think that's kind of the problem with sequelizing this. The stuff that they present as going on in this universe is crazy. Like Acapulco's been invaded by rebels. Like Pretoria's like got a nuclear device there. Like there's robot hearts.
Yeah, everything's teetering on the brink, isn't it? I suppose that's what they're. Yeah,
it's like a world on fire. I think they talk about like an Amazon war and stuff. Richard McGreevy just gave £2. Have you guys seen Hollow Man recently? I never enjoyed Hollow Man, and I haven't seen it in a long time. And it also has a sequel, doesn't it, Hollow Man?
Yeah, I did see it once years ago at school, I think. But no, I haven't. I know at one point you see his duck. That's all.
So I'm just I'm managing things on my phone.
You missed me saying dick.
Doug. Right, sorry, I was... Right. So isn't this his real-life wife or girlfriend? Who plays Barbara?
Yeah, that's right, yeah, I think it is.
Hiya, Barbara.
Maybe you could suck my dick.
Maybe I can insert my erect penis. No, okay.
I'm not a very literal man. You'll have to read between the lines.
She looks like she was dressed by Prince. This is purple felt. Yes, his one job as a costumer on Robocop.
Raspberry beret. The kind you find in a secondhand store.
The kind you find.
If it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. Just this whole random scene.
Chris Griffiths' favourite things in the world are Prince and Robocop. So if he is watching this, he just spaffed everywhere.
Ew.
Ew.
I noticed Dick Jones had on his desk one of those. Do you remember they were prevalent, I guess, around this time and in the 90s. People used to have them that they're like pins in a box that you put your face or whatever.
Fucking a company I work for did a human-sized one recently.
Oh right, wow.
One of my clients did like a human-sized one at an expo, and it's like, this looks like a torture device.
Yeah, like an Iron Maiden. Oh, I bet I know who it was as well.
Yep, you do. You do.
Oh yeah, I went in it. Do you know what I'd do? I'd go in my full size and then I'd come back out and then I'd push all the pins in between my legs down really far to the knee.
Go in with a large chorizo.
A kielbasa.
I went in with a kielbasa.
I went with a full kielbasa. A 12-inch.
We're not talking small, we're talking medium size.
Yeah, and I don't mean a medium. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Oh god! I will say this movie as well, like, absolutely clips along. I just don't think there's a wasted scene in it. I think that's part of its magic.
But I meant to bring that up. That's something you said before in it. I think you're absolutely right. There's just no shoe leather whatsoever. It's all so tight.
There's a few bits from the original script that were removed. So like, there's a bit, I think, when there's a transitional scene where Lewis and Murphy go between like the city and the steel mill. Doesn't add anything and it's gone, and it's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not one of these movies where there's a bunch of stuff missing, and it really is like the things that are missing for this film are people getting mean and blood. Like, you know, which again, it really adds, I think, to the the scene. And this whole stuff, like, this is super tragic.
Yeah.
Like the horrible tragedy in him, you know, the fact he looks at himself in a broken, you know, not broken in the traditional sense, but a broken mirror, a distorted mirror. You know, it's not totally subtle, but
I love as well that he's got things that's never made. They never make any hay of that elsewhere, as far as I'm aware. That like the whole kind of like he's got. I love that the suit's design's just like that little lever comes out of his knee, so he can kind of manually move his leg and stuff like that.
I love that, yeah. And there's again lovely little bit of sound design in there just to kick. I do all the stuff relating to Robocop's kind of suit and body is really tactile. I mean, the sound design in this film is really, really on point and so detailed, you know. And I think if you see, admittedly, the sequels, particularly the third one, they don't handle it as well. But every little thing is accounted for. Like when he drills those out of his head and they tinkle on the floor and stuff, and all the stuff relating to his movement of his. Because they did it in the TV series, they really overdid it. It was like like every time he moved. Do you have baby food?
Crime is naughty.
404, family not found. That's what it should say on his RoboVision when he goes to his house.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Vaccaro just gave $10 This is for the Carl Reese Tramp Pants joke from the last watch party. I'm at work currently missing out. I hope the next one is a trip to Jungles of Valverde. Thank you very much, Mark. If you can hear us, I appreciate your work.
It may well be. You never know.
Oh, yes.
Know. Yes. Yeah, Murphy. With Lewis is in bed and stuff. Stephen Hall gives a nice callback. He says, "Yeah, Duncan, you might have a MacBook Air, but I have a Motorola Time Port." That's just sad. Anyway, sorry. That was tickled me.
Just briefly unplugged my mic by accident. I just need to make sure that I've got a feed going in because
for one brief second it was the Duncan show.
For one, his dreams came flesh for just one moment.
One glorious moment.
Robocop moving in the TV show was Darude Sandstorm. Yes, that is accurate. Yeah, everyone's just saying sound. It was just me. I unplugged the micro USB end of the USB lead connecting my mic to the laptop. Very sorry, and I was fumbling around. Let's see, because of the delay, everyone's going, Richard's muted. I'm back. Audio guys. Yeah, we are audio guys. Thank you very much. I'm the most audio guy of all. Thank you. There we go. We're back. Oh, Lewis Taylor, director of why is my memory so bad? Sleep Tight, who I interviewed ages ago.
Oh yes, of course. Hello, Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis. I was going to go see the premiere of Sleep Tight in London. I was going to talk to you about it, but then the whole country closed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't possible. Headphone not found.
State of the art. Bang bang.
So these are Barrett 50 cals with shoe boxes on them.
Yeah.
This is great. I love this because it fucking just dropped the mic that I unplugged a moment ago. The depth in the staging of this is all the depth in these shots. Because
this was what was the story behind this when they were shooting this? There was something going on, wasn't there? I can't remember. Didn't Peter Weller go down there, or this was what they were shooting when they first got the suit on set or something? There was some story behind this scene being quite pivotal.
I know they mentioned that. Yeah. This is kind of peak them going out and getting wrecked together.
Right.
I know that much. It's like because they were kind of thick as thieves by this point, and they were just going out, and they were already in downtown, so they were just like going out and getting wrecko.
Yeah,
probably something else going on there. Stop fiddling with your bits.
With your bits, Jam.
Oh, Lewis Taylor. It's all right, guys. I didn't go either. You'll have your day in the sun, man. You'll have your day in the sun, dude. I kept meaning to get Lewis on. Lewis was going to come on because I met Lewis down in London. Lewis was going to come on, then I broke my leg, and then when I got better, we never quite got it together, and now we're all fucking, lockdown.
Did an interview with him though, didn't you?
Yeah, we did an interview, which you should all go listen to. It's a very interesting project, Sleep Tight, and it seems to be getting, from what I've seen from Lewis's Facebook, quite a lot of truck with different film festivals and stuff. So it's a nice UK horror short for you all to think about.
Lewis and I have a lot of people in common, I think, as well, because I often see him sort of liking and commenting on people's Instas, as the cool kids say.
Yeah, I see. Do you know originally it was called Instant Graham?
I did know that.
It's the American pronunciation that says Graham, but it's Instant Graham. It's the full name. I've got an Olbas inhaler. I'm not doing coked cane, Colombian style coked cane. I tell you what, I got these because I snore too much. I thought I'd clear my airways, but then I was riding around tooting on this. I went out on my bike today. I was like, I heard about those being addictive, but that's going to be in crazy America where they don't regulate their drugs. And then I read it and it said don't do it more than 4 times an hour. And I was like, oh, okay, old bass. Maybe they are addicted.
I can quit any time I like.
I can get addicted to menthol nasal inhalers.
Yeah. I see. You just did a snorting gag, but I couldn't see it.
You couldn't see it. Duncan can't see me. This is the tragedy. The tragedy of Duncan the Wise. He can't see me. Baby food not found.
I mean, when he says like my targeting's messed up, it's like because of the way it works. It's just 2 lines. It's like, what are you looking at? Like, I'm not really sure.
I've got to admit, even quite young, I always kind of thought like, is it this thing that is it like a? I didn't think of it in these terms. I didn't know what it meant. I'm not going to pretend I was a smart kid or anything. But it's like a cognitive dissonance thing where he just can't. His eyes show him one thing, but his brain shows him another, and he can't. You know what I mean? Like, it's clearly like not point. It's like just move a bit left, mate. Like what?
I mean, I'm assuming that like his kind of vision. He's obviously still got his eyes and his brain's in there, so it's like there must be some sort of chip that connects his targeting system to his like what he sees. So if that is not calibrated right, I guess. But then Lewis just moving his arm surely wouldn't be the way to calibrate it. I don't know.
Marco Hibbins says, do you guys ever jump out on members of your household shouting, "Looking for me," in Murphy's voice, or is that just me? Fair dues, that's good. Mr. HEC 381991 says, Judge Dredd Eyes, referring of course to the 1980s epic story City of the Damned, in which Dredd is forced to go forward in time using a time machine to investigate a discrepancy predicted by Side Judge Faye in the year 2120, having his eyes removed by a demon summoned by a mutant, a clone of the character Owen Chrysler, who first appeared in the Judge Child story in the 1970s. I was looking at your camera the whole way through.
Leonin.
Oh, I love it. That's going to be the death of this channel. Just like, why won't he shut up?
What was the strategy there behind Robocop doing that? Like, because he just announces himself straight away thereafter.
Looking for me. Well, I don't know. He manages to kill old Joe there, doesn't he? So,
especially, but they were facing away. He could have shot them all in the back very quickly.
They don't do. He doesn't do. I will say Jesse Goins, who plays Joe, who just brought the bullet there.
Yeah.
If you see him in interviews and stuff, he's like lovely sitcom dad. Like he's the complete opposite of what he plays in this. And I haven't seen him in much else, but like, because a few of them like Ray Wise and stuff have done he's done Twin Peaks or whatever, and there's a lot of right in that cast. But he's very much nice sitcom dad.
Yeah.
And in this, he's kind of like, he's not much of a. He's one of the kind of, let's say, thinner characters in the Bodica gang, but he ain't a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, he sort of has that childlike hyena-esque laugh and grin and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like, whoop, whoop,
if you look at this makeup in high definition,
this is a scene that was heavily cut down.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's extra stuff here, and fuck, when they put this on that ridiculous TV version, it's just like, what were you thinking? This is why you should even try and cut this for TV. Yeah. But if you see like his bones sticking out the end of his fingers with the droopy skin,
it's horrible.
Like, oh god,
blood running down his ear, his brain's melting. And the fact that he just turns to liquid as soon as he gets run over.
But his head bounces off the top of the car as well. Yeah, and it's kind of like quite thin liquid.
It's sort of like consomme inside.
Yeah, very much like a beef broth.
Yeah. Oh, this bit's with the hubcap goes over the camera. That's really cool.
That is what I would be when I get happy accidents on set. When I'm filming something and you get a happy accident, it is one of the most insanely wonderful feelings in the world.
Yeah,
and fuck that on film, where it takes 9 hours just to turn the fucking camera on. You have to crank it you have to get a strong man to crank it with a big handle before it'll even work. I've just got to say, I have shot film, and it's one of the worst experiences of my life, and I'll never do it again. And fuck the
I've worked on film. There is something very
blop.
I do like working on it, but it is weird. But then I don't have to freaking set it up and do all it.
Oh, Joe Mitchell says, Richard, are all the Prime directors on YouTube? They should be, Joe. They were in a weird kind of letterbox format. That's how I made Duncan watch them. He was very pleased about that, weren't you, Duncan, when I made you watch? You only had to watch one of them, to be fair.
I know, I watched two, I think.
Did you?
Because they're sort of feature-length ones, aren't they?
They're feature-length, yeah.
Wasn't my favourite.
Bye-bye, baby.
Walking on wow.
But it's subtle, it doesn't really draw attention to itself. It doesn't go like, there's someone did a good Photoshop of Zack Snyder's Robocop, and there's like a poster for Metropolis in the background, and there's loads of lens flares, and there's like a big crucifix and shit.
I used to think that was when he spat that out. I used to think he'd be spitting a tooth out, but this is gum, isn't it? But...
Nick Jones says Richard cranks it on set till he has a happy accident. They're always happy, my friend, but they're never accidents. I'm not arresting you anymore. I'm shooting you on the duck. Here we go. Ray Wise with the... It's a bit sort of like a video game boss, isn't it? When you have to like operate a crane or something. A meal equals Bovril.
That he does.
Oh, I'm not sure if Colin McCrane got his... Colin McCrane, did you get your... Colin McLean... put some money in the old PayPal. I'm not sure if we gave him a shout out. So
sorry, Colin.
I can't remember. We may have done. I'm just a little bit like I get a little bit worried about not. Or Colin may have done a super chat. Or I may have just given him a shout out for.
What we could do, if you like, and I don't mind, I can get it up. Is in that post amble we can
Oh,
give
very
him a
good.
shout out.
Yeah, just to be safe, because we don't get the little ding dongs like we do with super chats. But then Google doesn't take most of it, and that's not true. It's not most, but they take a disagreeable amount of it.
Oh, you're breaking up there. What?
Oh, am I? Hello.
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, stop it, you prat! It really hurts. That's where my heart is, probably. See, there's extra here. See that with it spurting out, and they wanted to do a close up, and they couldn't get it to work of like a spring-loaded spike in his mouth. So when he opened his mouth, you could see the spike go, which would have been great, but they couldn't get it to work. So, don't point that pole at me. I've lost a pint of blood. Colin McLean.
I'll pierce my vodka on a spike.
On a spike. Colin signed up on Patreon. I knew I'd seen Colin somewhere. Thank you, Colin. So Colin
cheers,
signed
Colin.
up to Patreon. So there you go. Just give that a refresh. Make sure we're up to date.
I like the cut there, like when he just goes and then it cuts.
Yeah, there's loads of great cuts on sound cues in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
See that just having that bank of monitors is hugely Frank Miller-y. It's the great Daniel O'Harely there, Felton Perry as well.
Yeah.
So this is the I love this building. It's the Civic Center in Dallas, which is this insane brutalist kind of building, and then they extended it with matte paintings. With Rocco Joffrey, like king of the matte painting, in the wide shots when it's not actually a skyscraper. That kind of triangular thing is real, and then the rest is painting on. I'm not sure you see a wide of it in this section, but
you might. No, I don't know if you do. No,
sure. If you do, we've missed it, I guess. Right? If it is there,
yeah.
This is great. This is, Phil Tippett makes great kind of hay of the little whirligig thing on top because it's and as well he might because it's a great little thing, the little whirligig going off on
and the little toe going.
It's all those little touches, man. Like Phil Tippett is an absolute fucking god.
Yeah,
and that because they really were filming in skyscrapers in Dallas, so you've got that great skyline out the window. They really are up a tall ass building, which is fantastic.
I think it's a set in the building though, isn't it? I don't think it's an actual.
I think they did because there's Dallas is famous for its empty skyscrapers because of the oil boom, so there's loads of rentable space.
Right.
So I think this is a location.
I'm sure it's a location. What I mean is, I just think that's a set that within it.
Oh, dude! Oh, yeah. No, of course. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, they built a boardroom set inside that level, rather than it being someone's actual boardroom.
Yeah.
Can we shoot a man in your book? Can we, Mr. Kenny, someone in your book? Not directive for. Dick Jones is wanted for being a dick. Jones.
There's some blood on your spike.
I got blood on my spike. That is an awkward soundbite.
That's not incriminating evidence, though.
Doesn't look good.
Oh,
though,
that
is.
Yeah, you go. Sorry. That bit. I mean,
Duncan, hold on. Just wait.
I love it because it starts to because I made a mistake. Now it's time to erase it. And he's like, that's not incriminating. What are you talking about? It's not like I said I killed the man. I had to kill Bob Morton. What's that? Liar, when he's in the courtroom, he's like, because they're playing the sex tape on the thing, and he's like, how can that be proven that's not Mr. Cole on the tape himself? And it's just like, you're so much better than my husband.
Time for Ronnie Cox to become Mr. Tickle, says the Wincock.
Yeah, here he goes.
Yes, indeed. This is, and you know what? When you compare it to, say, like Die Hard.
Yeah, that's true.
That is ropey.
It's not a good look.
It's ropey, but I love it.
Yeah.
Peter Weller looks so good in that suit as well.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
You see, because it's kind of like the Direct Line ad recently when you see the guy in the suit. Even then, the shoulders just don't hang properly.
Yeah, and it's not shot or lit right, and he's doing things in it that he shouldn't be doing. But it is interesting that, well, it's not interesting. We know why, but it's like that's the suit they go to. It's like, haven't we had a reboot? Shouldn't you be wearing an all black tactical suit?
Robocop. There we go. There's Robocop, guys.
Robocop.
I mean, it's one of my favourite movies. I talked about it before, but again, never talked about it on this channel. And mostly, it's just us dicking about in it, really.
But it's one of my favourite ones as well, and it's certainly one that I've come to appreciate in more ways. Certainly through talking with you about it over the years, but also, I think the internet has done it a lot of favours Not only, least of all, of course, which will be Robodoc, but or perhaps that'll be the culmination. But it's one of those films that I think has really gotten such a strong afterlife now.
One of my first, when I was my first year of doing film at uni, like the thing would be like, oh, what's your favourite film? What's your favourite film? And I used to say Robocop, and 9 out of 10 people would just laugh in my face when I said that. And I'd be like, why are you laughing? Because it's that cheesy old film. It's like, when did you last watch it? It's like, well, not for years. And it was just a joke, not a joke, and you don't get that anymore. People seem to have stopped doing that. It seems to have had its recognition.
I have to say, I've never run into that. Apart from my dad hating it, I've never run into really anyone who thinks it's old and shit. That said, I'm sure if I showed it to my wife, she'd probably think it's old and shit.
Well, I showed it to one of my friends recently who'd never seen it, and they're in their late 20s, and they watched it. Polish friend of mine, and she was just like, what the fuck? Like, that was amazing. And I was like, I know. And particularly because she's from a Catholic background as well. She was just kind of like, there's all this fucking Jesus stuff in it. It's like, I know. It's fucking great.
Well, she sounds very astute.
Yes, yeah, she's a smart cookie. I will say, I do need to point out that we must assume in the universe of Robocop that Michigan is an at-will state, ergo Dick Jones's firing would not have been effective immediately, and Robocop would have had to wait for a 2-week notice period and adjudication before shooting him. Perfectly clear, and my understanding of American employment law. Right. I asked you, I opened on how did you first see Robocop, and I didn't share mine.
Yes, well, I was going to ask you it, but you talk. You
just fucking talk like usual.
About, so.
some shit as usual.
Yeah.
I saw it, but Niall was there. There's some rough kids who's I won't say their names, but they had it, and they brought it around to watch at our house. So the rough kid was with my brother from his year, and I was with a lad called Chris, so I still have vague contact with. He was from very churchy family, they're all very serious. And Chris wasn't allowed out of the house unsupervised, didn't have violent stuff in the house, wasn't allowed to watch any movies or cartoons and stuff. So my mum just thought we were watching the robot film. She saw the box, was like, okay, fine, because my mum was always busy working at home because she used to dress hair and stuff in the kitchen. And you were saying about being aware of it when you were 5. I was about 6 or 7 when this was going on, and we had this VHS and we watched it, and we sat through all of it. And as I remember, I don't think Chris really said anything. What he did do was go home and wake up screaming in the night because he was having nightmares because of this film. And then the next day, his mum called my mum and was just like, "What did you let them watch? How dare you?" And my mum was just like, "What? They were just..." And then my mum found out. That's how my mum found out what Robocop is. Whereas
it's a great story.
I was just like, "This is amazing!" Yeah, bloodthirsty little fucking chimp that I was. Whereas poor old Chris, bless him, got goddamn nightmares. Yeah, bless him.
I grew up in a very certainly by the time I was 9, 10, I was in a very churchy household, and but even before that, I wasn't allowed these sorts of things. My grandfather, I remember when we were in the Bahamas visiting him, took all my Ghostbusters toys away because they were too scary or whatever. I think on my mum's say so, but anyway, so that's the kind of household. So, but to me, all this stuff it wasn't, and then because my dad was cool. Shout out to my dad again. He basically introduced me to all this sort of stuff. I think kind of by accident. We would just be watching stuff. It wasn't. I don't think he particularly cared. So I was like, he'd make me turn away at the gory bits and stuff. But then it was, because these things again, we've discussed this, the difference between an adult and a mature film.
Yeah,
and because Remains of the Day would have bored the arse off me, but it's a mature film. It's not a whereas this is an adult film, really. I mean, it has mature content in it, as in there's interesting stuff to look at, but it for the most part is an adult film. It's
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, comic booky sensibility.
Yeah. There's I think there's a real discussion there to be had, because it's what you put an 18 rating on. I mean, because Remains of the Day is a great example. Or I don't know, the 39 Steps. You know what I mean? They're not hard ratings or anything, but it's because they're mature content. Whereas something like that fucking, what's that Zack Snyder one about the fucking Barbies in a mental hospital.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. I'd say that's an adult film because it's got blood and tits in it, but it's not mature. You know and I'm not. I would like to point out the adult film versus mature film, ignoring the pornography side of that. The adult film, you've put Robocop in that category, and I very much agree. I'm not trying to damn with.
It doesn't mean they don't cross over. I mean, it doesn't mean there isn't mature content in an adult film and vice versa. It's just, the category they fall into. Like the subject matter of Robocop, it on the face of it is Ant-Man who becomes Ant Robot,
Ant-Man,
and then blows dicks off. It's not. It isn't. There's no great. You can't really dress that up. But yeah, it's but my point being, I suppose, is that those are the kind of films that I watched with my dad. But funnily enough, Remains of the Day, I seem to remember, was a film that we watched and I was bored shitless. And this is back in the day when you didn't have iPads and iPhones to keep yourself amused. Well, there was something boring on TV, so that sucks. And I think we were watching it on some pirated version in Jordan, in Amman, so it was probably even insult to injury, you having to pick through it visually. But it is a film I've revisited in my adulthood not that long ago and really, really like. So there you go. It's a great film, Remains of the Day. Yeah,
they get. Well, it's the time and place you watch these things, isn't it? I don't think it's sort of like watching The French Connection when you're 8.
Yeah.
Just that's a more crimey, blokey way to go. But I think I would find that very deeply boring. Whereas Robocop had fucking robots in it, as did Terminator. Whatever. The credits are over, so we're going to hang on here to the 11 o'clock, 11 of the clock, which is what I assume o'clock means.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. So get your answers in. I'm just going to go get some water because I'm jolly rather parched.
Yes, I'll do the same when you come back.
Right, we're doing shifts. I might expel some urine as well.
Very good. All right. Well, I'll try and keep everyone entertained while my esteemed colleague does that. Let me have a look at the chat. Let's look at the chat. How did you all enjoy that? I know that wasn't what we'd call a commentary, was it? But it was fun. What are you all talking about? Remains of the Day had Superman in it. It says obscure entertainment. Yes, it did. The late great Christopher Reeve, and in one scene, ushering a pigeon out of a room via the window, which looks. Well, I guess it would have been largely improvised because you can't really marshal a pigeon. But yes, the Duncan Show. Yeah, sorry about that. What else? We had that on video, and I don't know. I'm fairly sure it was a video nasty. I don't know what you're talking about. This is like coming into a conversation halfway through between a bunch of people, and you don't know what's going on, and you're trying to be cool, but you're not. Cool whip. Ask me questions quick before he comes back and starts talking again. Yes, or Lee, you're right. We could all go and have a piss and just leave the whole thing empty for 5 minutes. Not enough dirty shitter talk, though. That's a very good point. We didn't. Well, I don't think Robocop. I think Robocop is fairly clean in terms of defecators. I don't know if you could really point to anyone. I don't think the old man's a dirty shitter. He's probably got quite a clean diet. To be honest, he's rich. So yeah, I don't think you could really point to it. Maybe some of the goons, or maybe the guy with the wine. He may be a dirty shitter. He looks like
what a time to come back.
I know, yeah. I was just trying to ascertain how many, if Robocop had any dirty shitters in it. But I don't think it does. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, even though it's very firmly in that dirty shitter era, I'm not sure I judge that it would.
Stephen Allen says, "Hey Duncan, what do you think your favourite Marlon Brando's role was? What do I think it was, or what was it? I think pedantic asshole that I am. I think that probably, I don't know. See, there's great performances from him in shitty things. Just trapped my finger in the thing. Probably Godfather. I know that's really lazy, but probably Godfather or Apocalypse Now. I mean, Apocalypse Now is a masterclass in just spellbinding stuff. And the irritating thing about Marlon Brando is he's not even trying that hard. You know what I mean? He's lazy, and yet he pulls these amazing performances out of the bag.
Greedy and lazy.
Yeah, he is literally greedy and lazy, but fair play to him because he absolutely nails it.
So just real quick, Michelle Jeffers has dropped in £10 to PayPal. She says, "Thanks for the laughs, chaps." Thank you very much, Michelle. Stuart Lee, not spelt with an EW like the famous comedian Stuart Lee. Stuart Lee spelled the other way, is £2. And I wonder if that is Stuart Lee that I used to work with at Studio, who I haven't spoken to ages. If that is you, Stuart, please say hi because I haven't seen you in a long time. Carry on.
No, I was just going through. I'll just go through very quickly, whip through some questions because I don't want to be accused of not answering them. Discussion on Spectre one day, maybe. I mean, I did actually do a review on it somewhere else back in the day when it came out. But again, Bond is a hard thing to kind of get off the ground on this channel. And to be honest, partly that's due to the lack of impetus on my part because I just sort of don't want to do it. Not that I don't love James Bond, I do, but I'm not sure that I want to talk about it again. But maybe I will. We'll see. I'll leave the door open on that. Maybe like one-offs or something. Or something like that. I don't know. Kirk says, have you ever done any audiobooks? Yes, actually, but not fiction. Well, kind of fictional ones, yeah. Yeah, I have.
What audiobook did you do? When was that?
I did them for the Cambridge University Press, so... I used to do like the for English as a foreign language. What?
I just got a good Billy bullshit. Sorry, please carry on. I'll read it when you're done. I'll read it when you're done.
Pay attention. So I used to do voiceovers for the English foreign language thing. So it was just sort of various scenarios of people speaking English in that broken way that we learn other languages.
Oh, that's weird because it's a crossover into where I used to work. That's
yeah. But like I am going to stay in the room with the view of the sea and the pen on the table,
yes, exactly.
and all that. But it was funny, but I got to do voices that I'd never get to do, obviously, in real life or in live action, and it was fun. But then, owing to a payment dispute, I was not asked back because anyway, I'll get into that. But I had to kick off a bit, and
this is all news to me. I didn't know this.
Yeah, I basically I won't say tried to stiff me for money because that's not fair, but he wrongly said, anyway, that's not air dirty laundry, but basically, yeah, I had to push to get my money, and then, yeah, I didn't get asked back, which is quite often happens, but there you go. So yes, I have done audiobooks, and I would like to do more, but I guess no one's going to hire me after I said that. But, there you go. This comes with I must pull my finger out my arse and do my my voice reel because I haven't done one, and it's just because I'm bone idle. It's not because I'm bone idle. I'm working. Yeah,
great turn of phrase.
I tell you what, when my new laptop arrives, that is one thing that I'm going to hold my feet to the fire over because I really need to do it. Ross says Simpsons or Family Guy? Simpsons all the way. Yeah.
Simpsons seasons 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Dan Lyles has reposted a Billy bullshit, which I'm sorry, I caught my eye when you were talking about your voiceover work in the AFL industry. Cool. It's also interesting to me, but this made me laugh out loud because it might be my favourite Billy bullshit ever. He claims that he was on. He claims it was he was at an on-location recording of Record Breakers, and he watched Jeff Capes throw a fox into France from the White Cliffs of Dover. Okay, first things first. Anything with Jeff Capes, for some reason, I find really funny. Jeff Capes is former World's Strongest Man Jeff Capes, but like in a British 70s way, so he's very much a pints of cream, 10-pack of cigarettes, dirty shitter guy.
Yeah.
Jeff Capes, former World's Strongest Man Jeff Capes, threw a fox into France from the White Cliffs of Dover. Record Breakers, again, we're speaking to the younger people in the crowd, was a TV show where people would come on and break Guinness World Records with Cheryl Baker and Roy Castle. So imagine a children's TV programme where they take the World's Strongest Man to Dover so he can throw a fox to France. That's another thing about these Billy bullshits, because stuff like that wasn't repeated, and stuff like Record Breakers wasn't like on tape. So if you Billy bullshit, and now it's kind of like, well, if Jeff Capes threw a fox into France, that would be on YouTube.
Just not to get somber not to drag. Anyway, Only Life Important just asked. He says, "Hey Duncan, love you. Just shout out Donald Marshall for me. He's a friend of mine who died due to recent events. So big shout out, R.I.P. Donald." So sorry to hear of that. That's awful.
Yeah, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Fit that into our silly bullshit or trivial bullshit. So
it is, but we hope it's some sort of provide some sort of respite from obviously what's going on, because it's deeply troubling and unpleasant at the moment out there.
Well, there you go. Someone's just asked. I'm not going to segue from that to Jeff Cape's talk because that's great, very distasteful. Someone was asking me, have you signed up for us? Have you signed up to Dirty? Oh, for fuck's sake! Have you signed up for Disney Plus?
Yes, I have Disney Plus.
I have too. My missus is downstairs watching Iron Man without me because we're doing a daily chronological Marvel rewatch.
I'm trying to get I'm trying to get that done with the wife as well. But owing to the fact that for the longest time Netflix would have random ones on it, we've kind of skipped things. Like we've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy films and we've seen Thor Ragnarok, but not the Dark World or Thor 1, I don't think.
The Dark World is fucking dismal anyway.
But then she doesn't my wife is not as anal about films as I am, shall we say. She's certainly like, they're entertainment to her. They're not like a way of life, which they are for me. So she doesn't really remember any of them when she watches them, so we're just going to watch whatever, whenever, I think.
Well, I think there was talk in this house about we'll get the free trial, and I thought, you know what, for £6 I'll just treat everyone and we can watch them all. If I cancel it after a month, it's fine.
We got 6 months free, I think, or something like that.
Oh, what, with your cable package or something like that? Or...
No. She did it. She renewed her mobile phone contract and
gotcha.
And okay. We're going to get a year's subscription to the Apple Plus thing because my MacBook comes with it. So
grand. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Adobe were giving 2 months free of Adobe Suite owing to the pandemic, which I took advantage of because I don't have a job now. So, Bicoloured Prawn says Richard was going to say Dirty Shitter Plus. I really was. I said dirty because Jesus Christ, Dirty Shitter Plus.
Can you imagine all these 70s New York cop films? On some sort of streaming service, like $12.99.
Just Dirty Shitters. The Spider-Man specials, the French Connection, anything with Marathon Man, Roy Scheider. I was going to say the
Roy Scheider week.
It's just a Roy Scheider streaming service.
Sort of horribly leather-skinned smoking habit. Like,
if there was a Dirty Shitter Plus original, it would be a John Wayne lookalike drinking a pint of cream.
I don't know where this pint of cream thing came from.
And the pint of cream thing to me, it's because there's this post-war diet of just drink. When rationing ended, people used to just eat the most insanely, like, aggressively nutritional stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, and that's why they were all dirty shitters, because it was all cigarettes and steak and black coffee and pints of cream. Floyd Dillon did point out that Arrow Video Channel's got a 30-day trial via Amazon.
What is that now? There's so many streaming.
Well, but Arrow, who released all the cool DVDs and Blu-rays, the British company of horror movies and stuff. Arrow did the Robocop edition that I just got. So their streaming service presumably is full of all the kind of the cool, obscure shit that they've been kind of curating over all the years.
Oh, okay.
Do you think Colin McLean says? Do you think Valverde exists in the Robocop universe? I don't know. I feel like Valverde, the country, is too dreary to exist in the Robocop universe. Like the Robocop universe is so nuts. It's a nice thought, isn't it?
It could. Nice,
yeah.
It could.
The dirty shitterverse, says John. Kirk Coffee Man, purveyor of coffee, is leaving now because he's heard of all the black coffee dirty shitter talk, I imagine.
He's off to purvey more coffee.
Yes. Fremantle85 says, Duncan, which actor or director do you really want to work with? Richard Jackson.
Right now, Richard Jackson, Black. Right now, I really want to work with Mark or Brad again, because Brad's been teasing me for the last year with various things that he's been working on, and I'm just hoping that all those kind of dominoes are going to kind of line up for us, actually. But I'm assuming you mean sort of mainstream, more famous around people, and I guess I would. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like Christopher Nolan or whatever, that'd be great. But also insanely nerve-wracking, probably. I've technically worked with Tim Burton and Sam Mendes and people like that. Technically, I mean, I literally worked with those people. They're not in any grand capacity, but I have been received direction from them. And I've miturated next to Sam Mendes as well. So, yeah. Yeah, no, dude, I'd love to work with. I mean, but I got asked this on a Q&A once, and I gave some crazy lengthy answer. But honestly, though those big guys are great and everything, and I would love to, of course, in a heartbeat, I would work with them. It's the people that I've worked with and the people I want to go and be the next generation of those people. So like Jamie Stone, who directed Erica, I really loved working with him. I'd love to work with him again. I want Brad obviously to hit new heights, and then we go off and we just make great big things together. And same with Mark. So that's honestly, it sounds really lovey and everything, but that's who I want to work with. The cool people.
Quick one, we have just had a super chat come in from the Wing Kong Exchange, very regular viewer of the channel and patron as well. Here's some OCP dollars for you slags. Phil Robinson dropped 15 quid on PayPal. Thanks for what you do. So Phil, Cauldry's off because it's God knows what time there.
It's actually the weekend there.
yeah, in 2027.
Yes.
Steve Allen, so do you guys like any of Armando Iannucci's other stuff, like The Thick of It, In the Loop, Death of Stalin, Time Trumpet, or whatever? I like pretty much everything Armando Iannucci's ever done. I need to sit down and watch Death of Stalin, and I haven't watched Avenue 5 yet because I don't have it available to me. But I like everything he's ever done, I think. I'm
still 2/3 of the way through Death of Stalin, but it's very good. I mean, I'd have said I haven't seen everything he's done, but everything I've seen of his is, I think it's hilarious. The Armando Iannucci show is brilliant.
Well, that was one of our early bonding things, wasn't it? Because you and I are those lesser spotted people you meet in real life who've seen the Armando Iannucci shows and can therefore reference it. Great
Alan Ford.
Oh man, like it's my favourite Alan Ford thing because people talk about Snatch or whatever all the time, but I'll be up Everest in a bowl of rice.
No, he goes because there's that woman who didn't read the Times or whatever, so he goes around her house to have a go.
It's like, the Guardian. It's like I see the sports section on your dining room table looking distinctly unread.
Yeah. I will have nutters from Parker. John, I don't care if you fuck off to Tibet. Nutters from Parker's.
He's in the Barber, isn't he, as well? The Billy Bullshit Barber. And he's like, John, from the flats in Bow. I know him.
Yeah, no, because he's a dyslexic cockney thing, isn't it? It's a joke. It's just a joke that the guy is... It's like, no, he get confused. He said, like, apples and pears, desks. It's like, he shouldn't be doing that.
You know, the bootleg John Lennon was shot by the bootleg Mark Chapman. So Nick Jones. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Nick Jones has just given us £13. Thank you so much. Just thanks for the laughs, guys, and have a pint of cream on me. We will, mate. Thank you.
Oh, did you boys watch? I could never get on with Snuffbox.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it was a British. I could never get on with it. It's referenced in Dread. Weirdly, I should probably give that another go. But yeah, I could not get on with it. I didn't know old Alan was in it. Yeah, I know. I loved Hugh, the old man who remembers about the old days. He was the one who. Oh, hello, Hugh. He's like, we used to get a couple of girls, get them fucked on crack, go to a junglist mashup. He goes like, what is it? He goes, the coronation of King George V. We all got given a silver shilling, with George V on one side and Jabba the Hutt on the other. It's great. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, that's when the thing about the internet was only on for 3 hours a day. It's in black and white, and we had to stand up at the end when they played the national anthem. Lee Hutching says review on Three Lions. I'd love to review Three Lions. That'd be a good. Four Lions. Sorry. I'd love to do an It Ain't Broke on that.
What do you mean, Lee? Do you mean Three Lions, or do you mean Four Lions?
Surely,
is there a film called Three Lions?
Iannucci and Chris Morris. It must be.
Yeah. Four Lines is great. I must rewatch it though, because it's a film I've always just dipped in and out of.
I love it, man. The fucking end with Kevin Eldon as like the police, him and Darren Boyd as the police snipers, and that whole discussion. And I love Riz Ahmed as well. I think he's great. There are so many good things in Four Lions. So many good things. I really fucking love that film. Though apparently Morris's new one is supposed to be not great. The one with Anna Kendrick. I've heard very mixed things about that.
Yeah.
Sadly, but yeah. See, Doug Wannacott is quoting Hugh. Back then, we only had Gillette Contour, but we knew the Contour Plus was just around the corner. There's lots of quoting of Iannucci stuff. Steve Allen's referencing, the thing about the blokes talk about football with the earpieces and stuff. Yeah, that's great. That was presumably not anymore, but that was all on YouTube for a time. It certainly won't be now.
4 Lions, yeah.
The Iannucci shows.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You should be able to watch it on.
All the Alan Ford stuff was. I remember that.
Yeah. I'm going to search that. Armando Iannucci. Yeah, I love the thick of it, of course, as well. Yeah.
Again, not something I really watched religiously, but I have seen bits of it, and I saw the film as well.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, guys, if you search the Armando Iannucci shows, all of them are on YouTube, which is wonderful because they're so good.
Yeah.
They're so. Do you remember the Village Sniper?
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah,
I will kill you. It's a Bosnian sniper.
And they're like running for their milk and stuff, and it's like
they're running out the church like that.
Go! Yeah, it's all there to be watched, man, which is shocking. I mean, if in the UK you could just get it probably on whatever they call 4OD these days. It's called bloody. I don't even know what it's called anymore. It's called something else. Yeah. So. Well, we are getting into the last 25 minutes of the chat, so just keep all those questions and stuff coming.
Yeah. I just let's see if I got any. Richard. I know you're a Stephen King fan. Errol the Ponce says, I know you're a Stephen King fan. Have you ever read any of his fellow peers like James Herbert or Peter Straub?
No, not really. I never did. I used to. Yeah, it's funny that just a bit singular. I used to just tear through bloody Stephen King books, and then no, not really. That's just the worst answer, isn't it? It's the worst possible answer. No. Do you like? No. No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, sorry, that is a deeply underwhelming answer. I'm very
Champagne 7779311. Champagne says, Duncan, can you talk a little about the difference between stage theatre acting and acting in front of the camera? Does doing one style help to improve the other? I don't want to waffle on. Basically, they're very different. The inner work, the internal work is the same more or less, or should be the same. But the exterior stuff is very different. So you just distill everything on camera. You do as little as possible, and you make things as nuanced and as subtle and as even less than reality, really, even less articulated than reality. Because, and I mean, especially if you're doing it for something that's going to be on a big screen in the theatre or cinema, you imagine like any movement, like even a tiny bit of movement on a screen that big is massive. Even a blink is like going to take up 4 foot if you're in a close-up. So yeah, it's just a case of being so mindful of that, and also being aware of where, go look up the much not derided, but the much piss taken Michael Caine acting for camera masterclass that obviously what's his face, Peter Serafinowicz took the piss out of. For good reason, because it is quite funny, but that is actually, a lot of that is quite insightful in terms of what is required working on camera. So go take a look at that, and and then obviously stage is one that I always have to really work to get back into, actually, into the bigger, because that's you've got to really act with your whole body on stage. But there you go. I hope that was insightful. I don't know if it was or not. And also you've got things like, you've got pricks like Richard trying to line up shots and telling you, where, can you show me the action, please? And then you go through the action. And this
I need to frame you properly.
I know.
We need to frame you.
Because you're trying to do your job. And as an actor, like, you can't. Like, the action? What are you talking about? I will be acting. But it's like you do. Sometimes it's so mechanical. You literally have to move your hand like exactly to the same place each time. Because bless them, they've got to freaking keep you in focus, haven't they? Because of course they have.
I think that's the great thing about being on set. It's loads of people doing their jobs in spite of each other.
Yeah,
like,
well,
you all have a
when it all
common goal.
yeah, when it all comes together, though, I know it is frustrating when the sound man bloody didn't get the thing, or or like, there's rustling for you, because there's something about lav mics. They'll always stuff them in your tie, because you'd probably be wearing a tie, right? And I'm always on the lookout for this when I watch TV and films. That everyone's tie knot is always massive and loose because the sound guy's been shoving a freaking lav mic in it, and then it rustles and it doesn't work right, and then we've got to come back, we've got to do it again. But then for some reason it just stops being a problem and starts working without any rhyme or reason. So, but it's all that sort of stuff that goes on in it. But then when it all comes together, it's really, really cool, and it's really, really great, and it's collaborative and wonderful.
Stop being so magnanimous, you prick. You magnanimous prick. Someone, I think Steve Allen just asked if we've watched Look Around You. I have. It's one of my favourite things. You've watched Look Around You, Duncan? Robert Popper, Serafinowicz?
No.
Oh, mate, you have to. It's Robert Popper, Serafinowicz, and Edgar Wright's involved, and it's a piss take of those old crusty science films they used to show us in school. It's really, really good. Also,
I've heard of it.
It's all on YouTube as well, weirdly. DVD. It's fucking so good. Because like, there's an episode about like calcium and sulfur, but then there's one about ghosts. And it's all shot on 60mm in kind of 4:3.
That's right. You've shown it to me before.
It's such an amazing format. It's one of my favourite things ever, actually. And Robert Popper these days, he wrote the Time Waster Letters, which are just a really funny book, because he used to write letters in character to people in real life and then compiled it into a book as being a nuisance. He these days writes Friday Night Dinner on Channel 4. Have you ever watched that?
No, but I'm again aware of it.
It's good, man. That's well worth your time. I think you would dig that. Actually, it's a really funny show. I'm just sorry. I feel like we've missed questions.
Caspiness, sorry, super chat, £5.
Hey.
Oh wait, we can't.
Hey,
Caspiness
also is a patron as well.
Grazie mille.
So grazie mille. I got to drag my tired ass to work in about 6 hours. Time for another. Thanks for another fun night, says Ian B. God damn, 6 hours. Okay, cheers, man. Ian's getting up early tomorrow, unless he's in another time zone. Who's to say? But it's still 6 hours.
Rachel has asked what our opinion on the Christian Bale freaking out thing is. Before we answer that, just a quick to say hi, Rachel, and thank you for your message. Rachel has overcome something. That's all I'll say. I don't want to. Speak about your personal.
Also promised a horse video, which you will get.
Yes, but if you could all just give Rachel a round of applause, everyone, for overcoming something that is not very pleasant, but she's done very well. And to your question, the Christian Bale thing, I think we've spoken about that before, but basically, I mean, my end on that is like, okay, you shouldn't do that on a set. That's naughty. And it shows a sort of lack of respect for everyone around you, of course. And he copped to that, like he said that himself. But by the same token, it is dubious as to how that ended up getting released.
And also that film sounds like a bit of a fiasco, and the cinematographer really wasn't acting professionally, it seems, at the time of said incident.
That's true.
I'm not running to defend Christian Bale, but it's very easy to see a celebrity freaking out and just pile in on it. But it does kind of feel as if, like you say as well, it was released at a very interesting time and put a lot of eyes on that movie. So is what I'm saying.
It was weird. That whole thing was very weird, because there was that thing as well at the time. Wasn't it around the time of Dark Knight coming out that he'd been supposedly accused of domestic violence or something?
Well, he's supposed to have hit his mum. I think that was. He's supposed to have assaulted his mum. So I remember all that, and that all kind of went away. So get off the set, you prick. It's John Doe has written that, and I've done my best. He said to Duncan Casey doing Christian Bale. That's what that was. Casey doing Bale.
What? Give me a fucking answer! His mum's like, I don't know, Christian, I'm sorry.
Oh, Christian, I'm so sorry. I can't do it. I fucking,
You're bullshitting and fucking around.
See, I don't give Family Guy a lot of truck, but I did like that thing.
Oh, that was so
where
good.
Peter Griffin's responding to him. It's like, I put these lights here for you. I get that. That's cool.
It's like, I ate that last piece of pie. He's like, Oh, good for you. And how was it? It was like, hey, I mean, it was pretty good. He's like, I hope it was fucking good because it's fucking useless now. He's like, well, it's nourishing me, so I go, get the fuck up.
Because it's like a picture of a tape recorder. Is that in an episode of Family Guy? Is that what that is from?
It's in an episode, but I think the tape reel's just there because it was inserted very last minute.
Right.
Because obviously it reacted quite quickly to it being in the news, so I think they just put the tape reel going around. It's really good though.
Right, lots of Robert Popper talk going on. Something that I'm always happy to indulge because he's great. Robert Popper, Sarah French and Robert Popper did a montage sketch on YouTube called Markets of Britain. Yes, he did, and that's brilliant. Look, that's one that's really funny. There's another Popper and Sarah Fenner Rich one called Building a Human because they had a whole universe they were building, and it's a kind of information film, which I was talking to you about before we went on air, actually, because it's about building robots, and it's like, don't worry, they don't feel any emotions other than pain and love. That's great. Sam Montgomery asked me if I've ever seen the Netflix film To the Bone. I have not. I don't know what that is. I've got to say, I don't know what that is. So there you go. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I don't fucking know, to be honest.
Did anybody see the video Dennis Quaid did mocking Bale's blowout?
No, I didn't.
Get out of here, Quaid. What's it going to do with you, Quaid?
I mean, even in 2009, that seems like a slightly desperate bid for relevance.
Yeah, I know. Like, what the fuck, man?
I mean, I like Dennis Quaid, I do. But, come on, man, you've got a crazy-ass brother. Like, you don't need to be crazy, too. Like,
yeah, Randy's got you covered, man.
yeah.
Dennis Quaid, start the reactor. Sorry. Lee Hutch, I need to address Brian Shields because he's been asking... Segues for a while, and I haven't managed to segue in, so I do apologise. Brian, would you ever do Star Trek commentaries again? You used to love them in your former live channel. Hashtag Shatner rug speculation. You probably don't know about Shatner rug speculation, do you? That was because I don't know what went on inside the Bond commentaries, for example. So Shatner rug speculation was about.
I was aware of it. I was aware of Shatner.
Sure,
because we had Connery rug speculation.
Oh, I didn't realise it was a two-pronged attack. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, I would love to get back on the Star Trek commentaries. It's just finding someone to dance with on those because I think subjecting Duncan to that might be a bit of a hard ride for him.
I don't really know much about Star Trek. I know Deep Space Nine a bit, and I know the new.
The original crew movies are really good. I mean, the first one's a bit of a chore, and people give them a bit of a bad rap for supposedly the odd numbered ones are bad and the even numbered ones are good, which is bullshit. But you know, like for example, Wrath of Khan is a really fun, watchable adventure movie and stuff. So you know, if you wanted to do them, I don't need much convincing, clearly. You know, so maybe Duncan will do them with me.
I don't mind. I mean, I'm not adverse to it. It's just finding the time. I think the thing is what tends to be convenient for us is doing stuff which we know and we can rattle off, and you know, doing stuff where one of us has to sit and watch. It's like Midnight Run, trying to get you to watch Midnight Run. But it's not your fault because it was taken off Netflix straight away, but it's back now. But that, you know, and it's not because you're reluctant. I just know that, like, you know, finding 2.5 hours in anyone's life to freaking watch a film is difficult. Yeah.
Neil Hutchins says, "What about Ivan?" Yeah, I don't know if I get Ivan. We were going to do some Andy Sedaris commentaries, which would be a good start. I'm not sure I could pin him down for 6. I always feel a bit bad trying pinning because again, it's like pinning someone down and going like, "Hey man, can I have 8 hours of your time or whatever?" So you know, it's a bit it's a wee bit tricky.
Have to get Brad in.
Yeah, well, I want Brad to hashtag go ape. Never did get on those apes commentaries, and that's a good one because I'm not being paid, but like Ollie, I never did those for Ollie. Ergo, they don't exist, and it's not just about who owns them. It's just that there's no jokes, there's no nothing. That would be a completely fresh thing to do on quite a big topic.
Yeah.
So it's not something that we'd be re-recording or anything like that. Floyd Dillon would like to see you on a Star Trek commentary because we do end up just pretty much taking the piss out of a lot of stuff, and I think that is quite fun for the dynamic when you are the outsider or I am the outsider to the thing. Yeah, it's good to have that second perspective. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be up for it. I just need to be able to watch it.
We ain't doing shit right now, guys, because we on lockdown.
I'm busy though, man. Like I find I'm so freaking busy at the moment. It's crazy.
Me too, man. Me too. Despite that. It's just really busy despite the lockdown and stuff. So, is how I phrase that. So we're getting down to the last 12 minutes. I'm just going to close the window because it's fucking freezing. Josh 72456 says best and worst film of all time. We get asked that a lot, man. That's difficult, isn't it?
I think you need to think about the questions you ask sometimes, because it's like, have you ever not liked a film? It's like, yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, because I really like Robocop, right? It's one of my favourite films of all time. I find it hard. I don't think the worst ones, because it's ones that genuinely offend you or annoy you or... I
don't see the need. I mean, quite honestly, this is not a personal attack, but I don't see and it goes on regardless anyway. But there's this incessant need to categorize things and rank them, and I mean, there's some utility in it in certain things. I do understand that, and obviously there's some films that you can say objectively good or objectively bad. But I mean, really, it's not to shoot you down. I'm sorry, but it's just I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, Feddies. Colin McLean asks, why don't you like Looper? Still waiting for It Ain't Broke. I'll save that for an It Ain't Broke, Colin, and we'll talk about it half an hour, because I've got involved opinions about Looper, which I don't have time to go into. I don't have time to go into here.
We have time for you now. I'll happily talk with you about Looper, because I quite like it. Not in a massive way, but I do quite like it.
Doug Wanacott is saying, would you consider an Accident Man commentary or watch party? It's on Netflix and it's great fun. That might be a good one for the patron only watch party, because Duncan's in it.
Brief. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's an interesting one, because it's based on a comic by one of the creators from 2000 AD. So, Richard, you're in it, Duncan.
That's true.
No, you know. So, yeah, we could do. Mr. HEC says I was offended watching Prometheus. That's a good example of another film.
My pal Ben produced Accident Man. I don't know if I could drag him on. Maybe. See if he'd be up for it. Question for me, was Roger Moore the best Bond from Stephen Allen? Depends. Again, why the ranking? Why the need? Yes or no? He was great. I mean, Roger Moore was fantastic. Loved him. But
Champagne 7779311 €10. Great stuff to ever, lads. Are there any particular horror movies you would both like to discuss, either via It Ain't Broke or a commentary? Horror movies, yeah, many, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't covered as much George Romero stuff as you would expect from me on our channel. So, like the original Crazies, I like both the original Crazies and the remake Crazies. Weirdly, I really like that. Oh, there goes. Sorry, no. We just got the little Robert Redford animation popped up. Yeah. I really like the remake Crazies, actually. I made a point of eventually getting us to watch The Guest for an episode, which is just a favourite of mine. So we got around to that, so that's good. We did Bone Tomahawk as well. So I've managed to cover, because horror is kind of one of my bags, managed to cover them. So, you know. Yeah.
Josh says you were right, Duncan. It's a difficult question. I just can't think of what to ask. Mate, sorry. I was shooting you down, and I didn't mean to. It's just, you know. I get asked that all the time, and I'm kind of like, oh. So often in life as well, people are like, "Oh, you're an actor. Oh, what I've seen you in," and they ask me, "Who would you say is the best actor?" And it's like you're sort of going, "Well, I'm not going to say me, am I?" And so, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. And I'm not putting you in that category, Josh, at all. But a lot of people ask me quite ill-considered questions at times. It's like they say, "Who is the best?" Filer or date. I don't know.
Who's the best, Donna or Lester? Is a Duncan Casey title that I still think about and laugh.
The best.
Question for Duncan from Stephen Allen. That was more of an Alan Partridge reference. Also, could you reenact a Bond film entirely off the top of your head?
Oh, mate, Steve. Yeah, sorry.
Clang.
I've of course, missed kind of what you were going for on that. I apologise.
I hate that. I'm so bad at missing the reference and then answering sincerely and then going, "Oh, I'm an idiot."
Fair
I'm stupid.
I guarantee you, I probably could reenact a Bond film off the top of my head. Yes, probably Tomorrow Never Dies or something.
I think
everyone's asking me these questions now just to piss me off.
Best toilet paper band.
Top 100 films with stuff in them.
Best toilet paper band, Duncan. That's topical. John Doe wants to know. Crashell.
Crashell. Oh yeah, let's go with that. Lee, I'm not the best actor ever.
You are Lee. Ha ha.
Yes, exactly.
I have to say that because we've got interbald man confidence. We have to do the special our special meetings. We agree we have to pick each other up all the time.
Yeah. But Rach was I paid actual money to go and see the Adam Sandler classic Jack and Jill in the cinema. I can never show my face there again. That film I've never seen, but it does have obviously the Al Pacino Dunkachino thing, which I only like it because at the end he just gives us the most dry reading where he just goes, "Burn this." It just says burn this, like after he sees it, which is the gag, and everyone shows just the shitty ad with him doing the Donkachino, and it's like,
the joke is it's bad.
Exactly. So, but then I haven't seen the film.
But yeah, I've seen enough of it, and I'm sort of on board with the Red Letter Media thing. It's kind of like, oh, come to a Caribbean cruise, and then they do a Caribbean cruise for 5 minutes, and you have to watch it.
Right.
Like, there's a real grimy cynicism to those Sandler flicks that just. Blah. By the way, you can still tip in Penny Pal and say Super Chat. Such is my hypocrisy. But there's that kind of grubby product placement-y shit. Though, have you seen Uncut Gems yet on Netflix?
Yes. Oh, again, one I haven't finished. I'm about 10 minutes from the end, which is frustrating because I got interrupted. But Uncut Gems Interruptus. But I thought it was great. That's what I've seen of it so far. When the space turtles arrive at the end, that might spoil it. But no, I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I've watched it. I've seen many people being very excited about it, which is interesting. So
Sandler's very good in it. Sandler is very good, and he's someone who can.
He has got chops. He just chooses not to, and you just sort of go like, well, he's found a way to make a lot of money because I think his thing is kind of pre-selling. His thing was for the longest time pre-selling essentially ad space in his films, so making the budget back before they've even sold a ticket.
Yeah.
So he found a way to make himself very rich for not much money, for not much effort. It's like, well, who am I to? I mean, it's cynical, but who am I to fucking sit here and denigrate that?
Mate. Well, I mean, the thing as well is if you can do that, it affords you the room to then go and make more art house pictures and do more art house
which
stuff.
he doesn't do until now.
Well, until now, yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's not like a one for you, one for me. It's like one for you, one for my fucking yacht.
Well, yeah, but as well, don't feel like opportunities like that don't just come. They're not laid out before you all the time. I think it is one of those things where it's like,
if you can get yourself in it, because he was an SNL guy and stuff, wasn't he? So you kind of got yourself in that position. Worms has been asking if I'd start with the newer Apes flicks or go back to the original. No, I'm all about I like the new ones. I don't know the Tim Burton one, but the new three I really liked. Mostly the first one, but I would do the OG Apes flicks because that's where I'm at with those. You eat shit for breakfast.
yeah, that's Happy Gilmore quote.
Yeah, Angelo in there with was it Shooter McGavin, isn't it?
Yeah. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No.
That is great. Like, I'm sorry.
Was he go? He used to say, just stay. Listen to what I say. He's like, okay, I may, or I may just have some hay, lay by the bay. No, he's Punch Drunk Love is.
That's Paul Thomas Anderson, isn't it?
It's supposed to be very good. Yeah, I've not seen it. Although again, Lee with the titles, he says Drunk Punch Love.
Drunk Punch Love.
It is lately, isn't it? Are you drunk, Punch Lee?
Spanglish was the other one that was kind of quite lauded at the time, but I haven't seen. I mean, it's just there's so many just what you catch on ITV9 at 6 in the morning. It's just like, what is this shit? And like, oh, Adam Sandler plays a bin lorry driver who finds a shoe that makes him go back in time or whatever, and then like there's a whole scene set in a fucking KFC. And he gets into a fight with the Colonel. Or whatever. He
did do those sort of high concept things. So it was like the click with the remote, and he would attract and he would get big names in it, and like you got Christopher Walken in that, and then the thing with Dustin Hoffman, the cobbler thing with the shoes that turn back time or whatever the fuck it was, and it was like that. I know that's right. I think if he put on someone else's shoes, he would look like them or whatever, and like that. Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's that sort of silly high concept stuff, and then he attracts like a big name for some reason to be in it. But then things like anger management. Well, but then things like anger management, to get Nicholson is no small feat, and he's brilliant in that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because he's going to just make the most out of that material, isn't he? Colin McLean's asking if you could do Robocop played by Pierce Brosnan.
Oh God!
Go on.
Dead or alive, coming with me.
Fucking...
what else?
I can feel them, but I can't remember them.
I can feel them, but I can't remember them.
I love that because it's the exact same film.
Yes,
Pierce Brosnan, in it.
I am a cop. Which, yeah. Yeah, there you go. I don't know.
Well, we need to. We're in the last 2 minutes, so we are going to wrap up. So I don't want to be too abrupt. So we're going to start saying goodbyes now because we've
off.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. Shall we do a quick read of all our
yes
PayPalers? Have you got the window open?
No, because I've been busy doing silly shit. But I'm getting it now. Bear with. Trying to think that's it. Because that's normally I would do it on my phone.
I mean, I've got it open if you want me to.
All right, you did it. Sorry.
No, it's all right, man. I just had it open. That's fine. Let me just give it a quick refresh so we make sure that everybody what done it gets their credit. So, because a lot of you have, and God bless, thank you so much. Like again, it really means a lot, especially things being the way they are. So, Evan Brown gave us £10. Phil Robinson, thanks for all you do. We need this at the moment. That's £15. Studio Inari, £10. Lee Hutchings, still in the room, £5. Hello, gentlemen. What are your thoughts on tonight's Robocop TV series? I used to really fancy that AI/Ghost in the Machine woman. I do remember the sexy blonde computer ghost. I do. There's strange value in the Robocop TV series. Sorry, we didn't see your question earlier. Shit. I can answer that for you on Patreon in detail if you like. £5 from Ian Boucher, £10 from Sebastian Hamdam, Lawrence Mega gave £5, Kieran Swain £2, Peter Carlier £5, Paul McCulloch £10, Mark Greaves £10 to be spent on penny whistles and moon pie or strutterol. Omar £3 is for keeping me sane. Michelle Jeffers, thank you for the laughs, chaps, £10, and Stuart Lee, not that Stuart Lee, possibly Stuart Lee I used to work with, but hasn't revealed themselves in the chat, £2.
Wow. Thank you, guys.
And we have had a pretty phenomenal 80... I've lost the window. £84 in the super chats as well. So look, thank you so much. Like it's, it makes you know we like doing this and we enjoy sort of entertaining those locked in such as we are as well. So it's it's fun for us. So thank you so much. It keeps me in beer and I'd like to say fast food, but it's not true. I've got to cook all my own meals. Because
keeps me in buying baby stuff.
Baby things.
Baby things keep arriving by the day. So yes, I appreciate it very much. So thank you.
Josh is just saying, Duncan, you weren't rude. I understand. It's just I couldn't think of a question to ask. Don't worry, Josh, man. I know it's quite hard to think of a question from time to time.
But we appreciate you asking anyway. And so
ask away. Sorry, it's just some things we've heard before, and every now and then. Someone snaps.
No,
you didn't snap. No, you didn't snap. But like sometimes we get the same thing asked. So don't worry, Josh, you're fine. You're all good, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, Leo. We'll talk about sexy ghost lady on Patreon, please. Brian Dennehy chat coming through. Okay, so it's past 11, guys. So I'm gonna cut this. So,
pulling the plug.
Thank you so much for all your donations. You're very, very kind. I explained all the new Patreon stuff that's going on. We're going to come back with some pre-recorded content soon, but we will be back next week with another watch party of something. We're going to discuss what that will be, and we'll do another poll for you on Patreon, $3 and up. So, thank you, Tatty bye, and we'll see you on the flip side.